Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Good evening and welcome to Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott, and we are happy that Jacque Harmon is coming on the show tonight to talk about Bigfoot, her experiences, and so much more. If you haven't heard this one, it's going to be a great story for you tonight. But first, let us say hello to each and every one of you, including, where do we have here? Do I have it? There it is. There it is. Kitty Caddywhack in the gold medal position. Race Fan with a silver. T-Bone taking home a bronze medal tonight. Ice Maggie. Do. How you doing? Nice to see you. Skip to Malou. Good morning to you. Little Cam kicking off the Super Chat tonight. The Super Chat is a wonderful way to support what we do on this show on a nightly basis. So thank you, Little Cam. We appreciate it. Scrolling on down, we say hello to Trucker Andrew. And Mel WD-40 is here lubing us up for tonight's show because you can't talk about Bigfoot groping people without being nice and lubed. So thank you, Mel, for the lube. We greatly appreciate it. Scrolling on down, we got T-Bone and Road Flare. How you doing? Honest Content. Nice to see you. Mickey G, thanks for coming on in. K17 Odd and Gear Jammers. Nice to have you both here. As we scroll on down, there's Jacque Harmon in the chat room right there. Yeah, hi, Jacque in the chat room. How are you? How are you, Jax? Kurt M is here. Kurt M will be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the left of the studio, if you don't mind. To the left of the studio. Necessary Dialogue. Good to have you here. Chris Irvin and the Goblin. Good to have you both here. Aussie Boss Tiger, how you doing, my man? Flubber Lane and Luscious Jewels. Nice to see you both in early. As we scroll on down and we say hello next to John Allen. John Allen will be signing autographs after the show as well. Line up to the right of the studio, if you don't mind. To the right of the studio. Be gentle. John's first time signing autographs, so just take it easy on him. No big rushes. Matthew Goodcut, nice to have you here. As we scroll on down to see Mama Catherine. There she is. Mwah! Always hiding, and then she just pops up in the chat room. Love you, Mama Catherine. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I know you love Jacque, so yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. Let's scroll on down to Remedic. Welcome. As we go to Dunzel next. And Wilford Brimley, how's the diabetes tonight? Give us an update if you don't mind. Scrolling on down. Let's do a quick test. Jacque, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but you can hear me not through the phone. I'm going to mute my phone here. Oh, you hung up. So yeah, you can hear me. Okay.
I can hear you.
Here, Jack. All right, let's mute her. Scrolling on down. She's having some tech issues right now. Scrolling on down, we have up next Dunzel. Nice to have you here. TCR, good to see you. Hi there, Undead Jed. J Truth, what's going on, my man? Thank you for coming on in. James Escobar, how you doing? Nice to have you here. And who is up? Digger Dog is up. There he is. And Doug Shelby is here. The Doug Shelby has arrived, which means we can officially start this show. Desert Rat, thanks for coming on in. And who else? Who else do we got? The beautiful Laura Elizabeth. There she is. Nice to see you, my dear. Free Your Mind, looking beautiful as well tonight. And who else do we have here? Let's scroll on down. Scroll on down some more. LJ, nice to see you. And we got to get the radio side going. Hold on. Hello and welcome to the radio and podcast side of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Jacque Harmon is coming in to talk some Bigfoot, Sasquatch, and a little up close and personal. We're going to get to that momentarily. We're on roll call on our YouTube side. Bill Sardellis, how you doing? Nice to see you. Susan Ahern, how you doing, beautiful? Can't wait to see you in 1 month. 1 month we're hanging out. And who else do we have here? Phyllis Boucher Perry, nice to see you. And John Allen's got his autograph pen ready, everybody. So make sure you go up and sign. He's practiced. He's warmed up. And now the line is about to start. Yay, how are you? Nice to have you here. Jaquetta, nice to have you here as well. And all right, here we go, everybody. Throw those horns up. Let's rock.
Are you ready to hear your mystic voice of the night?
It's time to wake up.
He's here. Shush. Be quiet. He's ready for you to listen. Let's point our ears towards the little cabin walls. We're together, friends. Oh, night. It's time for Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott.
From the mountains of central British Columbia to you listening around the world, this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. I am your host, Dave Scott, sitting in the captain's chair of SOR headquarters. We welcome you to tonight's show on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Tonight's show is brought to you by Caribou Con. We want to see you all right here in the heart of British Columbia for Caribou Con, September 18th through 20th. Get your tickets now, right now, at cariboucon.com. This is going to be an exciting show tonight because we are getting into a real hairy situation that happened a few years ago. Jacque Harmon is here to tell us about her life and experience with Bigfoot. In hour number 3, Swamp Dweller is here with another spooky story. Then, right after that, we will have Grant Baker, who will be on with the UFO report. So sit back, relax. We're going to get into it right now. Jacque Harmon is a lifelong Bigfoot researcher whose fascination with Sasquatch began at an early age while exploring the forest with her father in search of the legendary creature. Those childhood adventures sparked a passion that has remained throughout her life. Over the years, Jacque has continued venturing deep into the wilderness, investigating sightings, listening to eyewitness accounts, and searching for evidence large, intelligent, and unexplained. And it may be hiding within the forest right here across North America. Jacque's research became intensely personal following an extremely uncomfortable close encounter near Mount Hood, an experience that transformed her interest in Sasquatch and raised even more questions about what they may inhabit and where their intentions lie. Let's bring her on in. Jacque Harmon, it is always great to have you on Spaced Out Radio. Kind of a return. It's been a couple of years, and I'm so happy you're here. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for having me on again. It's been a long time.
Way too long. And one of the things I'm excited about is you are coming to Caribou Con to be a
I
speaker
am.
with Lee Strauss, and I'm pumped up about that. I remember it was about a month ago, Lee messaged me, and he's like, "Hey, Dave, I know you want me talking a little bit of UFOs, a little bit of Sasquatch, and you had mentioned the story about Mount Hood. Would you mind if Jackie came? I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Yes, I would mind.
And I'm like, yeah, she's not allowed here. This is Canada. This is my territory. No Jackie Harmon's allowed up here. But he convinced me. He twisted my arm a little bit. He goes, I'll give you that autograph that you want. And I'm like,
Aw.
really? You'll give me that autograph if I let Jackie come up here and speak at CaribouCon? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, done deal. Done deal.
Aw.
So,
You guys are the best.
yeah.
I can't wait to get. I'm literally so excited. I talk to him like every day, and I'm like, "Are you packed yet?" I'm packed. I'm so ready.
What
We're
are you excited
excited.
for?
I've been to Canada, but I've never ever been to your special site before. I really actually don't even know that much about it, and I actually told him, don't tell me much because I really like to get a feel for like what's there. Um, you know, because of my experiences in the past, Lee's convinced now with the fact that we had an experience at the base of Mount Adams that they come to me, and it's definitely something that I feel like I've experienced many times in the past. It just wasn't to the extreme that Lee and I had at the base of Mount Adams, but that was an extreme situation for sure. But I have had others in the past. It's just not quite, you know, to that extreme of like, getting physical and touching my body and different things like that. So, we kind of have an understanding that we love to tell our story when we're together. So I try not to say too much about it. And I know we're trying to put something very special together right now because we know we've shared this story before. And I'm sure you've had, many, many people join since then that have never heard of me or this story, or maybe just hasn't heard my side of it. But we're definitely putting something special together. We're going to talk about that when we're up there. So it's kind of hard because I don't want to get too deep into it, but like, yes, we did go and we did share an experience that but I'm sure most of your followers have heard Lee talk about at least once, I'm sure, in the last couple of years without me.
Well,
But
we're going to get heavy into that
yeah.
because Lee can tell the story, but with you, because it's more than just Sasquatch, you know, coming close to you.
Yeah.
There was more paranormality to that
Mhm.
story than just that. And I want to hit that hard when we come back for the break at the bottom of the hour. We're going to tease people on that one first and foremost. But no, I'm very excited to get you up here. You are such a good friend and supporter of Spaced Out Radio. You have been
Love.
for a number of years now, and you're tried and true. And one of the things that I'm excited about is to show off this area a little bit, not
Yeah.
just the location, but just my area, because I'm so proud of where I live, and I think everybody should be proud of where they live. It
Oh,
doesn't
for
matter
sure.
whether you live in $1 million mansion or a $50,000 trailer. I don't care.
Yeah,
Be
same.
proud of where you live and where you come from. And that's what excites me about, with all of our listeners who are coming to CaribouCon this year. And I'm very excited about it. And I know we have listeners just a short drive away in Kelowna and Vernon and
Mhm.
the basic areas of the Okanagan. Come on up. It is so worth it, and you're going to get a lot of great attention. And one of the things, though,
Yeah.
that I am excited, though, is to take you to the location.
Oh, I can't wait.
And I'm not telling you anything. I'm not
Oh,
telling you anything.
I've told Lee multiple times, don't tell me. I'm like, don't tell me anything. I really like to get that feel of what's there on my own.
Yeah, you will. From the minute,
I'm
from the minute.
the girl who pulls them out, so be prepared.
Well, I want to see if Samantha Mowat can make the conference. And right now it's about a 50-50 shot that she's going to be able to make it. But
Oh.
between you and Samantha, crap
Mhm.
may hit the fan.
Oh yeah.
I've been in my life, I've been in the forest twice with Samantha. or 3 times with Samantha. And the first 2 times, she said the aliens are coming out, and there were aliens in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna
And
have a whole.
they know before we get there that we're coming.
Oh, they already know.
Oh, they know.
They already know. They already know the plan. And
That's right.
I think they're messing with me right now, though. I think they're messing with me.
Yeah.
And, and how I know they're messing with me, our trail cameras we have 2 trail cameras up at the gifting site. And last weekend, when we went to check the trail cameras,
Mm-hmm.
even though there was movement at our gifting site, our trail cameras, 2 of them, did not take a single video.
Oh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see what is going on and how things are going to react up there this coming weekend. I'm pretty pumped up for it. And you all should too, because we're going to fire things up here pretty quick on our other YouTube channel called SOR Secrets of the Forest. So make sure you go, guys.
Yeah,
Everybody
for
goes
sure.
and subscribe on that. But Jackie, 4 years old. You
Yeah.
were 4 years old when your daddy, God rest his soul, by the way,
Yeah.
when
He's actually behind me. So I thought I'd share this night with him. Look.
beautiful, handsome man. Great person. I'd have liked him. But you were 4 years old when your dad said, come on, baby girl, we're going to head on out to the forest and go look for some Sasquatch. Did you
Right.
even know at 4 years old what he was doing?
Did I? You saying,
Yeah.
did I know?
Yeah.
It's funny because you would think that a normal 4-year-old wouldn't have a clue what's going on. But I think because I was literally born into that world, it wasn't just my dad, it was my entire family on my dad's side. His brothers, even some sisters. I had a huge family. I grew up in a massive family. And both my parents had like 14 brothers and sisters. So we had this massive, enormous family. And my dad's side, everybody was into the paranormal. And so it was like it was already instilled in my life and my brain and just everything, a day-to-day kind of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So believe it or not, at 4 years old, I actually had still already, like, even at that early age, a lot of knowledge about like what I was going out to look for, um pictures, I mean, anything that they could talk about and share with me, it was just like already a part of me. So by the very first time I ever went out with him, it was almost like kind of like how I feel today. Like when I go out, it's like I already know it's there. Even before I ever even actually physically saw anything, um it was something that I just knew existed. And I always was told about aliens and Bigfoot being interdimensional. And that was just something that I was raised with. And it took a really long time for the paranormal community to come around to being interdimensional beings, and a lot of people didn't believe that for the longest time. But I knew that at a very early age. So this is something that like was just kind of instilled in me. I grew up with, but I do remember like vividly, like as if it was last weekend. I remember going out. It was actually kind of a funny story. I don't even know if I ever even told you. But of course, my family's very smart. They don't want to hurt anything at all. But in fact, I was actually taught about guns at a very young age because of safety. That's number one for us in our family is you protect yourself, you protect your family. We're not there to harm anything, but that just in case moment, if anything was to come at you, attack you, because you don't know, there's other animals. There's bears. I can't even tell you how many bears I've seen in my life. Cougars and yada yada. You go on and on. And I'm talking all the way down to rattlesnakes. Like you got to be prepared. So the very first time I ever went out, it's kind of funny because everyone had shotguns and they were all lined up. I remember the back of the truck was kind of like the tail bed was laid down and all these shotguns were lined up. And I remember kind of standing off to the side and waiting for everybody to kind of tell me what to do, where to go. And everybody kind of grabbed their guns and wandered off. And I'm kind of just standing there. And I remember turning around and everybody's gone. And they kind of forgot I was there. And I just thought, like, where is everybody? And I remember thinking, like, okay, well, I'm out here to do what they're doing, so I'm just gonna go and get a gun. And that could have been a very bad situation. But I remember picking up a shotgun and thinking, I got this. I'm good. And I shot that gun and it backed into my mouth and it busted my mouth open. And I was literally covered in blood. And I'll never forget, I screamed. And I think that's when they realized, like, oh my God, like no one has taken me with them. They come running. All they know is a gunshot went off and they come back and my mouth and my whole entire shirt's covered in blood. And I just remember my dad going, like, your mom's gonna kill me. She's never gonna let you come back out with me.
Oh goodness.
That was my first outing. That was my very first outing, going Bigfoot hunting with my family. So yeah.
How did
Yeah.
how did your dad get on the track of Sasquatch? What made his interest peak?
Well, it's funny because it was actually an uncle of mine who he was a big hunter. And the kind of the family all kind of did hunting, like deer hunting and quail hunting and you name it. And so what happened was one of my uncles went out hunting and he was sitting up in one of those blinds. And I believe it was like one of the ones way, way, way high up in the trees. And the story, I guess, from what I understand, is he was sitting up there and he heard some insanely loud, crazy howl that he didn't recognize. And this man practically lived in the woods. So he knew all the animal sounds, anything that was out there. He knew what it was and what kind of noise it made. And he didn't recognize this. And he just thought, like, what is that? What's going on? What am I hearing? Like, is it an animal? Is it a person? Is someone hurt? Did they get shot? Now he's thinking it might be like a woman because he said it started sounding like a woman screaming. And after a while, I think he started getting a little worried. Like, I think someone's has been harmed. And he said he started to climb down to go check it out because he was starting to think, like, okay, maybe there's a human out here and maybe because it's hunting season that someone got hurt. So I'm going to go and make sure they're okay. And he said as he was climbing down, he started noticing these massive trees swaying back and forth. And it kind of stopped him in his tracks. He looks over and says, like, that's not normal. I don't know what that is. Could be a bear, but nothing I've ever really noticed. Like, I mean, it was massive, like massively swaying back and forth. And we're talking about Northern California style, massive, humongous trees. And so he went back up to see if he could get a better look. And he said, just out of nowhere, he said, this creature comes walking around and he's like dumbfounded. Like he doesn't even know what to think. He doesn't even know. I don't even think at the time he really believed in Bigfoot. I think he had heard stories. And just a little bit of like back knowledge for you guys. My family, we are Cherokee Indian in my family. So we grew up with a lot of these like, Indian stories and, all the myths and the all the different things about Sasquatch and everything. And so what ended up happening was he basically just could see it. He was standing, like the thing was like walking around. He doesn't remember, or at least I don't remember him telling me if it like ever made eye contact with him. But he said he was watching it and then he realized immediately, like, that's not a bear. Bears don't walk like that. And that's way too big. So he knew it was something more, and it immediately caught his interest in maybe what I grew up hearing, the stories of these Bigfoot are real after all those years, even though I think in the back of his mind he believed. But now he just has, like, he's standing there looking at it, like, or sitting up in this blind. And I think that just changed everything for my family, because he's the one that started everybody going out. So he got my dad involved. Him and my dad were like practically twins. They were always together. And then his brother, and then my cousins. And anyway, I, was in the picture. And then my dad immediately started taking me out. I mean, like I said, I was 4. And for whatever reason, my mom was like, all right, that's fine. Take her. I don't even know if, I think it's because my mom didn't really believe. And I'll tell you guys a funny story. This is in fact, my mom was never a believer until this year. And I'll tell you guys why. You got time for me to tell you this?
We have 3.5 minutes.
Okay. So this is actually a part of mine and Lee's story. My mom and I were watching. Now, my mom was never involved in the paranormal. That was not her gig. Okay. She did other stuff, but that, for her, it was like, you guys go do your thing. I'm good. So on 4th of July of this summer, I asked my mom, I said, hey, would you do me a favor? Will you watch our podcast on Element 115? You've never seen it, and I'd love it if you'd watch it. And she goes, yeah, you know what? I will watch it. I think I'll enjoy that. And it kind of shocked me, because that's just, like I said, it's not her thing. She's always been supportive, but just not her thing. So we started watching the show, and we're at this certain part of the show. Now, Lee and I are kind of on the fence about, like, what's going on here. And I think I'm more leaning towards, I think something's there. He's not quite sure, but I'll tell you what it was. So we're watching the show, and it's the same one that we shared on the podcast, episode 2 on Element 115, if anyone wants to go check it out. So there's this one part where you see kind of this weird black movement on the screen. And I go, hey, what was that? And she goes, yeah, I kind of saw something move there. And I go, hold on a minute. So I grab the remote, and I'm pausing and rewinding, and I'm going and going back, going forward. And she goes, oh my God. And I go, wait a minute. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? And she goes, is that a face? And I go, you got to be joking me. And so I pause it, and I take a picture of it with my phone. And on my phone, you can see a silhouette of like a Bigfoot face. I don't know if Lee's mentioned this to you. And so, of course, immediately I'm freaking out. Oh my God, I have to call Lee. I'm freaking out. Like, it's been 2 years since we shared this, and we never knew. And so I call him, and he's up in the mountains. He's like, I can't do anything about it right now. I'll check it out tomorrow. Anyway, he gets home. He says, I don't really see anything, but I see it. So we're both kind of like, is it there? Is it not there? But it's weird. Let me tell you how weird it is. I'm going to share it with you when I'm up there. But in this picture that I take, you see the dome head, like the forehead, how it's like, like the Neanderthal forehead, the eyes, the nose, the big lips, and gigantic neck. And it's like the profile of this face. And it's standing like as if it's looking at us, like the cameras are over here on the side, okay? And it's looking at us like right at the tent of where we were. And that's where it was standing, in fact, when it threw a log in our camp. Now, I know I don't want to go too deep into this, because like I said, Lee and I we really want to share some special things and put this together for you guys all really nicely. But anyway, I'm convinced. And I've actually had several people look at it, and they're saying, there's something there. There's a face. I'm seeing a face.
And on that note, I'm going to get you to hold on right there, because we are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. Our good friend Jacque Harmon talking about Bigfoot when she returns, and when we return to you. What's it like to be surrounded stalked and then touched by Bigfoot. All right, we're clear.
Okay.
I'm so pumped up.
Oh my God. We can't wait. We're so excited. I call him like every single day. Are you packed? Are we ready? I'm so excited. Oh, I can't wait.
I'm pumped up.
Very excited. So I told him, I said, Joe, please don't tell me anything. Let me tell you something. Okay, so here's something that's always happened to me. When right before we used to go out on these investigations, especially with my dad. Now, it's happened to me multiple times when I've gone out with other people as well. But I will start having weird things happen to me right before going. It's almost like you've put it out in the universe. Like, I'm coming, I'm going to be there,
Mm-hmm.
and they know.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like once, and Lee even said this to me, I think it was even this morning. We were talking this morning about it. And he made this comment and he said something like, once you're in the Bigfoot family, you're always in the Bigfoot family. And I feel like kind of that's true. Like once you're there, I really do feel like there's some weird connection there. It's like being an abductee. Like once you go, it's like you're always in,
Yes.
So I definitely feel that way for sure.
Well, I'm not saying anything.
Oh yeah. So I started having these weird dreams, like over the last probably, oh gosh, I'm gonna say maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks now, and they just keep getting more intense and more intense and more intense. And so I talked to him this morning, and I said, I just have this strong feeling like some crazy activity is gonna happen. And he's like, for sure. I feel like that too. He says, I feel like it has a lot to do with you. And it might. Who knows? They're
Mhm.
definitely drawn to me, that's for sure.
Well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I am not saying a thing. I am
Yeah,
not.
I know nothing. And I literally mean like I know nothing about this site. I told him from the beginning, don't tell me anything. I don't want to know anything. I don't want anybody else's thoughts in my mind. I don't want to be like pulled in a certain way. I don't want to know anything about it. I'll definitely feel whatever's there without a doubt. And don't be surprised if I start like saying things or telling you about weird dreams I'm having and it has anything to do with what you've gone through or what someone else has gone through or whatever, because I start doing that when I get closer and closer.
Perfect.
It's a trip.
I love it. I love it.
I can't wait.
We got 2 minutes.
I'm going to grab my water.
You go. Chasmin Taz, how you doing? Nice to see you. Claudette, how are you? Number one, I'll give you one of these. There you go.
Can you see me okay? Because I had to do this on my phone.
Yeah, you're fine. You're
okay,
fine.
Perfect.
You are fine. Seeing if I missed anybody. Thank you to our great wrenches for keeping the peace. This is why we have them walking the perimeters, making sure none of you can escape and making sure any criminal elements trying to come in are dealt with swiftly and profusely. We love our wrenches around here, so thank you very, very much for what you do. Thank you to T-Bone, Little Cam, David, and Dutch Hank for the super chats. We greatly appreciate your love and support of Spaced Out Radio. And what else? Look, guys, just go get your tickets for Caribou Con. Get your asses up here. You want to see us. You want to hang out with us. You want to be with us. So just make it happen. Go get your tickets, cariboucon.com. Okay? Don't be that person who says, I was thinking about it, but I didn't know. And my friend had to do her hair that night. Okay, don't worry about that. Just get it going. Let's make it happen.
Yep.
All right, we're coming back in like, well, the clock says 12 seconds, but it's really 11 and then 10, then 9. And then it said 5. Here we go with the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. What's it like to be groped by Bigfoot? My name is Dave Scott. We're going to make it happen. Jacque Harmon is our guest tonight on the show. Before we bring Jacque back on, we want to remind all of you that if you've missed portions of this show or others, check out our free archives on YouTube or any major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Jacque Harmon is here, hanging on out with us as we talk legendary Sasquatch. Let's go back to 2024. Jacque, we're going there. We're going right now. You and Lee Strauss hanging on out.
Yep.
You decide to go up to Mount Adams in Washington State, overlooking, Oregon to the south, the other mountains to the north, and just a beautiful scenic area. Take us through that weekend. But before you set up, how did you plan that you were going there?
Well, it's actually a long backstory, but it kind of goes back several years. Lee and I actually became friends on Facebook, like I'm not even sure how many years ago. But we started talking. Of course, we had a lot of same interests, just like a lot of us do in the paranormal. And for some weird reason, we just kind of clicked. And he started telling me years ago, like, hey, I've got this special spot picked out and I want to take you there. And so it was just one specific spot he'd never been. And he just said, like, this is it. This is the spot we're going to go. Eventually, someday you're going to come up and that's where we're going to go. And we made it happen. So that's how the entire situation started. It was my birthday. And I said, I'm going to come up. We're going to go camp. We're going to find a great place. And he goes, yeah, I'm going to take you to that special place. And that's how we ended up at that one spot. It's like he had it picked out in his mind. And that was just it. There was no other place he wanted to go of all the places in the entire state of Washington. And then lo and behold, we had probably the craziest experiences we've both ever had.
So you get up to Mount Adams. How did you choose the location? Or were you guys just driving around looking for the perfect spot?
Well, like I said, it was really interesting because he knew the exact location. I don't even know how he knew it, but somehow or another, he had this map of it. He'd been telling me for years, like, this is the spot. This is exactly where I want to take you. It was like he just had that one little area pinpointed. And it was a crazy day. We got up in the mountain, we were driving around, and everything kind of kept pushing us away from it originally. We got up to one location and there'd be like a truck broken down where we couldn't get around. Then we'd take a different location. We'd end up on a reservation. We were not allowed to be there. We'd turn around. And so this kind of went on like all day long until we were finally like, oh my God, what gives? Like, we have to figure this out. But every time we would kind of like get pushed out, pushed away, it was like it was pushing us towards this one location. And he was like, okay, this is exactly where I've been trying to go. But we were almost like trying to go around it all day long, but it just kept pushing us to that one spot. No matter which way we went, we'd end up right back there. And So it was odd. And we actually went to a different location to begin with. And I was like, you know what? This just doesn't feel right. I don't want to be here. I feel like it's just not right. And when we ended up there, he's like, oh my God, this is the exact spot. So it's very interesting that that's where we would end up having all that activity, because this had been planned out literally for years. Years and years he had been talking about this identical spot. And I'm telling you, it was like from the get-go. We got out of the truck and he immediately started like, well, we did grounding. And that's something that we do in my family. I don't know if you've ever done it, but I immediately get out and we just ground ourselves. We always take off our shoes, we walk in the dirt, and we just sort of let, tell whatever's there, listen, we're here with nothing but respect. And you're okay to come near us if we're okay to come near you, kind of, just like talk it out. And so we did that, and he decides like, hey, I'm gonna, you know do like a whoop or a call or a whistle or whatever it was he felt like doing. And we weren't really like hearing anything at that moment, but it started to react because, like, obviously when after we got home and we were listening to the audio, we could hear responses, and it kind of blew our mind because we were like, oh my God, that's insane, because we didn't hear it at the moment. So one of the things that I think, what one thing we did different there, and Lee and I don't really talk about it a lot, but we've talked about it a little bit. And I don't really know if we've even shared it on the show before, but we did actually have I'm drawing a blank right now. What's it called? The Sierra sounds. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, the Sierra sounds.
Okay,
Yeah.
so anybody who doesn't know what that is, it's basically Bigfoot chatter. Bigfoot talking to another Bigfoot, and it sounds sort of like what you would imagine, like what Ewoks or something would sound like in Star Wars.
I gotta cut you
So
off. I gotta cut you off right there because you know what? When you hear it in the forest, I've only heard it once, and I was with Merle when I heard it. And Merle and I were probably 2, 3 feet away from each other when all of a sudden this started talking. We couldn't believe what we were hearing. We thought it was some sort of paranormal voice. We didn't realize that, a few months later, I would
yeah,
be listening to the Sierra sounds and be like, that's what we heard. That's exactly what we heard. So go ahead. I
yeah.
apologize for
Oh
interrupting.
no, not at all, not at all. So don't mind me, guys. I have horrible allergies, but anyway, it was very interesting because, we don't know as humans what the Sierra sounds really are saying. None of us know. We're just sort of like baffled by the fact that we can even hear it, and it's language. You can tell it's language. I mean, it's even been, tested that someone has actually said like, yes, this is actual real language. They're communicating. And so we were given permission to play that. So we did. Right smack in the middle of the day, we just decided we're going to play that out loud. And so we just let it play out. And I think we might have even played it twice. And we stopped and we sort of kind of went on with our day. Now, not knowing exactly what is going on with the sounds or what the conversation is, I've got my theory. And that's only because I go by what normal humans, the way we communicate and the way we talk to each other, our voices change. And you'll get low voice, high voice, excited voice. And to me, now I could be totally wrong, but to me, it kind of sounds like there might be one male, one female. And now I know this is going to sound funny, but to me, it sounds like the male's getting on to the female like she did something wrong. Okay. And he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. And it's almost like he's just kind of yelling at her, like, don't be going near those humans. And that's kind of how I take it. And now I could be totally wrong. You know what I mean? I have no clue what they're saying, but I'm just going off of what it sounds like. And so I joked about it while we were there. I was like, oh, it's kind of funny. What if? And what if this is something that they hear What if they think there's other Bigfoot here, right here, standing here with us because we're playing these voices? What if they're listening to this and they think they're standing here? Or what if they think we have some of them and maybe like they don't know where they are and they're looking for them? So I had all these different scenarios going on, which is interesting because, like I said, I have no clue what it says. Lee's clueless what it's, and I don't think any of us really know.
Correct.
But it's funny, because then all of a sudden there they are, and we were surrounded by them all night long. As a matter of fact, I just listened to audio. I just went over and re-listened to our audio about maybe I'm about 6 hours in, and it is non-stop movement, non-stop whistles, wood knocks, the slap on our tent. I mean, the whole thing non-stop. They never leave our camp, and I'm not even done with the audio yet, and it is still going nonstop. And they'll touch our cameras. At one point, it even touched the camera. I think it took a picture. I don't think it realized that it did that. But you hear the camera go zzz. You know how like when you take a picture, some cameras will make that weird noise. It opened our trail cam, shut it off. I mean, these things are highly intelligent. I know that for a fact. I've been, like I said, I've been dealing with different things like this my whole life. And just hearing the other stories from other people, they're just highly intelligent beings. And I think they're very aware of trail cams and just all kinds of different equipment. And it is kind of mind blowing to think, like, how do they know? Like, how do they really know, like, how these things work? But I think they've been around them now for so long, they've kind of figured it out.
I think you're right on that. I think, as I'm starting to notice like big time that we have a lot of things starting to happen within our trail cams at our spot. And the people that I've talked to recently about it, they always seem to say that the Bigfoot seem to know how these things work, that they can manipulate them, and that I mean, you hearing it open the click, if you have a trail camera,
Yes.
you notice,
Yeah.
oh goodness, as I reach for one right here, you notice that there is
Yeah.
a click,
Yes.
you know?
Yes. Well, you actually in the audio, okay. So, for anybody who's watching who doesn't know our story at all, we were the only people there. And there were no humans anywhere near us. I mean, you'd have to go, I don't even know, 10, 15, 30 miles maybe before you're going to be around other people. There's nobody. It was just us. Literally no one else. And when the activity started, Lee actually saw something standing at the end of a trail, and we walked down and we kept getting closer and closer and closer. And then, so that's kind of what started the evening. But we believe, both of us believe, that something was messing with both of us in two different ways. It was messing with him in a way that it like it wanted him to go to bed, to go to sleep. Like it didn't want him to be aware of anything. It was very strange because this happened 2 days in a row with him. And for me, I was like on the opposite end of the spectrum on that one. I was like super alert, super awake, super confused. Like, why would you go to sleep? I was just, it was just like weird to me. And so we're in this tent, and you can hear, even on the audio, you can hear us in the tent. And so we're not outside, we're in that floating tent. And it just decides to come into our camp and start messing with stuff. And
When you say messing with stuff, what was it messing with?
well, it opened our now we had a trail cam pointed directly at our tent. And it decided to open the trail, like you have to physically open it and turn it off. Okay. So it opened it and you hear click. Okay, well, it doesn't do that unless you physically open the box, the front of the box.
Well,
And
that's the sound that I'm making right now because
yeah,
I have a trail camera in my hand.
yeah. Yes.
Like, it's noticeable.
Yes, very noticeable. And we can hear it on the audio. So it was an interesting situation because we knew immediately it's here. And actually, least it decided to throw stuff in the camp to get our attention. It got our attention, and immediately Lee starts laughing and goes, "Oh my God!" It like waits till we go to bed to come into camp, and then it just like for the rest of the night just kept going and going and going, and it was just like at first everything seemed fine. I wasn't really even worried at the fact that it was even there. I've never, ever had an experience, even though I've heard many, many stories of scary experiences. I personally have never felt afraid. Never. Not once, ever, until we experienced how close it got to us that night. And that was the one and only time that I ever thought to myself, I think I'm done. I think this is it for me. I'm checking out. I'm done with the paranormal. I'm done with Bigfoot. I'm done. I was done.
I got mad at you for that. I'm just gonna tell you.
Well, I went through some serious PTSD, and I'm
know.
not ashamed to even admit that. I'm telling you, I had a panic attack. I mean, I know we joke about it now, but I literally like pissed myself in that tent. Like, that's not even a joke. And I was scared out of my damn mind. Like, it was bad. It was bad.
No, I totally understand. I mean, you have no control.
No.
You're in a floating tent.
Yeah.
Lee, for some reason, is fading in and out. A lot of
Yep.
people say, well, maybe he was just tired, or you didn't see it. Maybe it was a bear. Maybe it was,
No.
A moose or an elk or something along those
Yeah.
lines. Because everybody's going to try and explain this with logical
yeah.
answers.
Oh, believe us, we do too, you guys. Lee and I have gone over this 1,000 times. We're like, okay, what if it was a bear? Okay, first of all, we are 1,000,000% never, ever going to be those people who try to fake things, who try to convince people to believe in things. That's just not who we are. We are 1,000,000% like, if it's there, it's there, and we're all about the facts. Okay, so what happened the beginning, like I said earlier, the weird thing was Lee actually saw something on the FLIR, and this was my first experience with this happening ever. Was as we got closer and closer and closer, it would move around, it would duck, it would move, it would squat, it would stand, and I mean, this thing was massive. So when we decided to walk up to it, which maybe to some people that's insane, but we wanted to see what it was. And as we got closer and closer, but we were practically right on it, it just dissipated. And I believe in cloaking, and I know a lot of people think that's nuts, but I do. I actually do believe they have the ability to do that. And maybe that's what it did. I don't know. I have really no clue what it did. It just faded out, disappeared. That was it. Like, we were like, okay, well, maybe it was just a tree. Maybe, and then of course our minds are just swimming with like, it wasn't an animal, or we would have watched it walk off. We would have heard it. There was no noise, like no walking. And I'll tell you some of the strange things that I will tell you, that when I went home, the things that I had to sit and think about and reflect on were things like, why didn't we hear it more? Why didn't it have a smell? Something that big, you would think
Right.
it's going to come in, boom, 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 right? It
Well,
didn't.
and you know
Stealthy.
what? When I talk Bigfoot with people, the first thing I'm always asked is, well, did they smell? I've never smelled a Bigfoot.
Me neither.
I've never had that putrid garbage dump type smell
Me
coming
neither.
off it. Now, we have what we believe have smelt some sort of scent, okay, which is kind of like a skunky type scent,
Yeah.
but we're not sure because we don't have, Like
Yeah.
skunks are more, you got a better chance of winning the lottery than you do of seeing a skunk up here. Okay. And
They exist everywhere here. They're everywhere where I live.
yeah,
So we see them all the time.
but our climate is colder,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So they don't get acclimatized very well.
Yeah.
But what I can say is that this skunky scent that we have,
Mm.
it like a skunk scent when you first walk into it, it's there. And it follows.
It's like a bad funky BO, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But this smell that we're getting in the forest, and we haven't smelled it for a couple of months,
Mm-hmm.
it would be there 1 minute
Yeah.
and you'd
Yeah.
walk away, and like 5 minutes later, you walk back there, it's gone. A
Mm-hmm.
skunk smell, a true skunk, you're still going to smell it.
Oh yeah. That doesn't just dissipate. Like that doesn't just go away.
Right.
Now, where I live, there's skunks everywhere. It doesn't matter if you're in the city, you're gonna see them, you're gonna smell them. We have areas all over where I live that you'll see them on the road, you'll see them running into a field. I mean, it's strange. We see them all the time. But and when they spray, you can smell that for miles. It's strong. But it is weird when you smell something like that in like the woods or wherever, and you're in an area like, say, for instance, uh, up where we were, and it's funny because like Lee and I don't remember seeing any animals. It was the strangest thing, and we didn't even dawn on us until later. We were like, now that we think about it, we never saw one animal the whole time, the entire time we were there. I mean, we're up in the mountains. Where are the animals? And this was in the summer. This isn't like it's freezing outside and they're off hiding somewhere. This was in the middle of June. It's like, what's going on? Now, when you go back and you listen to audio, you hear frogs. That's it. You might hear like a random bird. But the one thing that I did find odd was, and when I'm listening to the audio, we are in a flight zone. So the entire night, you hear these planes going over. Okay. But the weird thing is, during that time, you hear the activity pick up. It's like they've adjusted to, okay, the noise is getting louder around us. So now I can move more. And I feel like they have learned over time that if they know people are around, that's their opportunity to kind of scurry off or walk around you or do whatever it is they need to do. And they use it. They do. Because I've been listening to that audio for weeks. And every time a plane flies over, you hear them moving around more than when it's not. And it's become a
Yeah.
pattern.
And you know what else we notice at our spot is that when the ravens would start going crazy, in behind the ravens, we would hear what it sounds like to be the samurai chatter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I've now listened to this. I can't even tell you how many times I've listened to this audio over and over and over and over. And every single thing I hear, I literally stop. I timestamp it. I write down what I'm hearing. I'll go back. I'll listen to it again and listen to it again, and I'll do this like several times to see like, am I really hearing this? And then if I have anyone around me, I'll give them the headphones and say, "Tell me what you hear." And I'm not going to tell them what I hear. I just see what they say. And now if they say, this is what I'm hearing, I write down ×2, meaning two people heard this exact thing. I never tell them what I'm hearing. And like I said before, my mom, no, not a believer, not until she sees this face. And now she's like, I'm 1,000,000% on board with this whole Bigfoot thing. And I'm like, that's unreal. Coming from her, that's unreal. And so I have her listen to the audio all the time, and I'll say, you tell me what you hear, and we'll hear like a woman scream or something. But it's been crazy.
Jacque Harmon is here on Spaced Out Radio tonight. We got her for another hour on the show, and just an incredible story. And we're going to get into, the emotion of it all, because Jackie really didn't go into depth about certain things that happened. I don't know if she will or not. We'll leave that up to her. But the story is very true, very credible, and very freaky. And stay out of floating pits.
This is Spaced Out Radio with host Dave Scott.
All right, we're clear. We're just going to play a video for about 5.5 minutes, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Sounds good.
Our merch is Bigfoot approved. We have t-shirts, we have mugs, we have hoodies, we have socks, we have hats, we have stickers, and so much more. Whatever you're looking for, we have you covered. Why just be a fan of the paranormal when you can buy Spaced Out Radio merch and look the part? Our merch ain't ugly, folks. Check out the Spaced Out Radio store. Find the link in the description below.
Lurking within the forested region of the 108-mile ranch, where the worlds of the normal and paranormal collide. CaribouCon is waiting for you, bringing together a panel of renowned experts in the paranormal, cryptid research, and UFO phenomena fields. Get ready for a spine-tingling weekend in the heart of British Columbia. Enjoy fascinating discussions, presentations, tours of local haunted areas, and skywatching. Learn from investigators, authors, and enthusiasts who explore everything from ghost hunting techniques to sightings of Sasquatch and beyond. Whether you're a seasoned paranormal researcher or just love a good spooky story, this is your chance to connect with fellow enthusiasts in one of BC's most mysterious areas. Tickets are on sale now. Grab yours before they're gone. Visit cariboucon.com for details, tickets, and updates.
Are you ready to dive into the weird and wonderful world of cryptids, cartoons, and chaos? Meet Dirty Filth, Spaced Out Radio's resident cartoonist and master of the mysterious. Every Saturday at 2 p.m. Pacific, join him live on the Spaced Out Radio YouTube channel for Cryptid Cartoons with Dirty Filth, a hilarious hour where he sketches bizarre beasts, shares mind-bending stories, and battles his mischievous cats. Whether you're a UFO enthusiast, paranormal fan, or just love quirky art, Dirty Filth filters the universe through his unique lens, creating cartoons that capture the strange, dark, and supernatural. Follow Dirty Filth on X at Filth1 or Facebook at Dear Filth for more filthy fun. Find his link in the description below.
Spaced Out Radio wants to hear from you. We love our community, and your voice truly matters. Drop a comment after every show and let us know what you thought. Agree with our guests? Tell us why. Disagree? We want to hear that too. We read every single comment. Jump into the live chat during the broadcast and be part of the conversation in real time. Got a killer topic idea? Your suggestions help shape the show. And if you want to take it even further, join our Patreon for bonus content and direct feedback opportunities with Dave and the team. This is your show as much as it is ours. Whether you're a longtime listener or brand new, we want your thoughts, your questions, and your ideas. And let's keep building this incredible community together. Spaced Out Radio, where the conversation never ends. What are you waiting for? We're listening.
with 5 explorable Gold Rush-era buildings said to be home to spirits of a time forgotten. The 108-mile heritage site in the heart of BC's Caribou region offers a unique opportunity for thrill seekers and history buffs. For an evening of historical fun, step into our guided ghost tours, where spine-chilling stories of Gold Rush legends and unexplained encounters come alive. For those craving even more, inquire with us about conducting a hands-on paranormal investigation of your own. And if you're truly brave, book our haunted sleepovers. Spend the night at our B&B inside the McNeil House to truly experience this historical landmark and its ghostly secrets firsthand. For booking or inquiries, go to haunted108.com.
All right, Jacque Harmon, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm very good. Happy to
All
be
right,
here.
let's give a shout out to Brian V in our chat room. Just the commercials that are AI, my friend. Just the commercials. The Ferret, how you doing? Let's see who else is joining us. Werewolf, thanks for coming on in. And I think we're caught up. Thank you to our super chatters tonight. We have Lil Kim, we have T-Bone, we have David Huber, we have Dutch Hank, and T-Bone giving a membership out. Thank you. If you haven't yet already, do us a favor. Hit subscribe, ring that bell. Hi, Thurston Howell III, and here we go. This is our number 2 of Spaced Out Radio tonight. What's it like to be touched by Bigfoot? My name is Dave Scott. Jacque Harmon is our guest. And we are hanging on out with all of you, and we love it that you are here. Before we bring Jacque back on, we want to say hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the Newswire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Sangfreud. Sangfreud is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. And now, let's get to Jacque Harmon. Yeah, Jacque is a good friend of this show. She was on Element 115 on our YouTube channel with Lee Strauss. She had to take a break. Why? Well, when you have something like this incident occur to you, it really, really plays with your mind. You see, a couple of years ago, Lee and Jacque, just for a little bit of background if you're tuning us in, Lee and Jacque went up to Mount Adams in Washington State. They set up camp, and as the night or day turned to evening and evening turned to night, they started getting surrounded by Sasquatch. They go to bed, they could hear the Sasquatch moving. They could hear the Sasquatch literally popping the strings on the tents around them. And then the unthinkable happened. Jacque, welcome back.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You and Lee are sleeping in a floating tent.
Yep.
So for people who don't know what a floating tent is, it's almost like a hammock, except tent style. You hang it in the trees, you crawl on in, you're a couple feet off the ground, and then all of a sudden you were awake, Lee is sleeping, and you heard this thing, whatever it was, start getting closer and closer and closer. What are you hearing at this point, Jacque?
So the tent is like if you have never seen one, it's like a triangle style situation, and so we have like this maybe 1-inch max pad and that we're laying on. So our bodies are squishing it down pretty hard. And you all you have between you and the world is that tent material. So I wasn't feeling super safe. You're thinking like, okay, as long as it stays its distance, I think it's really just more curious about us. why we're here, what we're doing, about our stuff. We had a lot of stuff. We had tons of stuff. We had a second tent. Actually, no, we had three tents total. We had a food tent, we had a changing room tent, and the tent we were in. So it had a lot of stuff to kind of mess with. Now, at this moment, I'm thinking and feeling like, okay, it's in the camp. I mean, we obviously hear it. It's made itself known. It's come up. It's thrown some things at us. It didn't actually hit the tent with what it threw, but it slammed something down on the ground pretty hard, like a big tree, or I don't even really even know what it was. But anyway, at this moment, I'm feeling okay. I'm actually okay. I'm like, you know, I'm glad it's here. I mean, this is what we came for. I want to have the experience. I just didn't know how far it was going to go. And so in this moment, I'm still feeling like I'm all right. Lee's all right. It's wandering around. It's checking us out. It's checking out our stuff. It knows we're there, obviously. I mean, we're camping in its living room. And it just got a bit too close for my liking. And that's what changed how I feel and made me take a very long break from the paranormal. And anyone who really truly knows me knows that I really never feared anything in the woods. Like, it just didn't happen up until that moment. I had a feeling of safety, curiosity, just respect, everything. And in that one moment that it decided to reach in and touch me, it changed everything. And if anyone out here is watching or listening that doesn't know what I'm talking about, it decided to stand right next to us. First, it slapped our tent, which scared the hell out of both of us. You can actually hear it on the show. You can hear it on the audio from our show. And we thought it had only been a few minutes, but probably was more like about a 45-minute period. So we don't know if it just stood there next to us or if it walked around us. But immediately after slapping the tent, you hear tree knocks, one right next to us, one in the distance. So it's obviously communicating with something. About 45 minutes later, it decided to put its arm underneath the tent and get a grab. And when I say get a grab, it was me that it grabbed. I was laying in the middle. There could have been like 3 people in the tent. Lee was literally touching the side of the tent. I'm in the middle. And it decided to put its arm underneath and grab a hold of me. And it started at my leg, made its way up my body, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. And it scared the crap out of me. I felt immediately unsafe, scared for my life, not sure what it wanted, why it was doing that. I went into a full-blown panic attack. Like, I had never even had a panic attack in my entire life. Well, let me just tell you, it was that moment where you feel like your life is flashing in front of you. You think, that's it. I'm not going to make it out of here. I'm most likely going to die. And someone's going to find our body, or maybe never find our bodies. And these are the thoughts that were going through my mind in that moment. I was just scared out of my mind. And I laid there with this Bigfoot, and I know it's enormous because that thing had its hand around my entire left side of my body, and it was squeezing me. And it went from my leg, ankle to my head, back down and back up again. And I just thought, I'm going to die. That's it. I mean, it's going to pull me out of here and kill me. And I just was scared. And I just had no other feeling besides like, we're not going to live through this. This is it for us. Like, it's mad that we're here, and it doesn't want us to be right here, and it's going to take our life. And that's the very first time in my entire life I ever had that kind of fear. Now, growing up, and even up to before that year, I've gone up to Northern California and I have slept in tents in the middle of like Bigfoot country by myself. And I've never had that feeling in my entire life. I remember waking up in the well, actually I didn't even wake up. I never actually went to sleep, to be honest. And if you watch the video, it looks like you can tell I didn't rest at all. But when we finally got out of the tent, I had so many different emotions running through me. It was like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm never going camping again. I'm never doing Bigfoot stuff ever again. I mean, it just had me in such a weird, funky place mentally, emotionally, and physically. I just felt like exhausted. Like hours, and I mean literally hours of shaking uncontrollably. It was a horrible situation. I've never been so afraid in my entire life. So for me, it was very traumatic.
As this is happening, how long did it last? Because it literally started at your foot and went
Yeah,
right up to your head.
yeah. It took its sweet time. I would say it had to be like a solid minute of just grabbing, maybe even longer. But it was just every time it would let go, it would grab and squeeze and move up a little bit and grab and squeeze and grab and squeeze, and it just kept going up my body. By the time I got home, my whole left side of my body was covered in bruises, and I have pictures. I'm actually going to bring those pictures to Caribou and share those with people. But um but it was just very, very traumatic. I just thought in that moment, I'm not comfortable. I want to go home. And I remember literally poking Lee, and I was actually getting really kind of mad at him because I'm like, why are you sleeping? What's wrong with you? Like, I was really getting upset with him. And I'm like, wake up. Like, there's something seriously happening right now. And you're just sleeping through this. How are you sleeping through this? And now I realize, and have for quite a while, that it was messing with him. Something was messing with him, and it didn't want him to be aware and awake. It had an interest in me. Whatever it was interested in me and touching me and doing different things that would just be about me. And so it didn't end there. It was the next morning, but like daylight, I told him, we're packing up, we're leaving. I mean, we were supposed to be there for days, like 2 or 3 days. And I said, I'm done. I won't stay here. And I think he was kind of shocked, he's like, wait, what? Like, really? I think he was really super bummed out about it. And I just said, you don't understand what I just went through. And I started to explain it to him. And he goes, oh my God. He goes, I felt that, but I thought it was the mattress moving around. And so he goes, and he was kind of moving around and bumping his butt. And I said, no, no, that wasn't the mattress. That was the upper part of the arm bumping you, because it was like under his butt. And he kept bouncing his butt and like trying to adjust it. And I'm like, stop. And I kept going, cut it out. I'm so angry at him in the moment, but I'm so scared, and I'm like frightened for both of us, thinking like, this thing's going to kill us. And you're hitting it. Now I'm laying there thinking to myself, like, I know it can hear us, but I'm praying to God it can't. In that moment, you're just like, oh God, please just don't kill us. Like, leave us alone. Let us live. Let me go home to my family. And like, I had all these horrible thoughts going through my head. And so like I said, the next morning I was like, pack it up. We're out of here. I said, we're either going to your house or we're going somewhere very far away from here. Well, he finally convinced me, listen, why don't we go to a new location? And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll go to a new location as long as it's not near here. If it's far away, somewhere at least a half hour away or longer, I'll agree to that. But I need some distance. Like, I need to feel comfortable. And so we packed it up, and I know he was super bummed about it because he just didn't have the same experience that I had. Even though he heard the slap and he set off the horn and the whole shebang, um, and he knew it was there. There was just something like as if they had put sleepy dust over him or something. It was just very weird. And I do believe that they can mess with us to mess with our memory, make us tired, do all these different things to manipulate how we feel. And I'm convinced that they did that to him.
Jacque Harmon is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. Just an incredible, incredible story. I mean, did you hear them leave? Like after you, or let's reverse a little bit.
Yeah.
When it got to your head, did you scream or anything?
No,
Did you say
no,
anything to it?
no. I laid there in complete silence because I was so afraid in that moment. I was so like scared to even make a peep that I just literally laid there and I just dealt with it.
What?
And I
Okay.
I, I was just so scared that I just thought, "Oh my god, it just if I just lay here and be quiet, maybe it'll just leave me alone. Maybe that curiosity of whatever it is that it needs to touch me will just leave me alone
Was
and
it
walk away."
was it grunting or sniffing or breathing heavy?
No, not at all. It
It, and how did you know it was a Sasquatch rather than a bear or maybe
well,
even a person?
Well, for one thing, I could feel its hand. It felt like a human hand, just enormous. It literally felt like the size of a basketball hand, and I could feel the hand like squeezing me. Like, I mean, bears, and plus it didn't have claws or anything weird like that. It was just a gigantic hand, and it just kept grabbing me, and it would just grab on and squeeze and grab on and squeeze. Well, at one point it would stop squeezing, and it kind of like rubbed its hand up the side of my body and started squeezing here, and it kept coming up and it would squeeze and squeeze, and then it even got around, like it would touch my side of my neck, my face, and you can feel the whole hand. And I
How
just like
how
there
big
thinking like,
how big would you describe that hand?
oh my gosh. Like if you were to put your whole hand like a basketball and your fingers could touch from both sides, that's what it felt like. It felt like just like if you took a human hand and maybe did it like you'd have to probably do four of my hands to make one hand. It was just enormous. And I could feel the pressure of the fingers. Matter of fact, I even had the bruises that I had, you can see fingers like as if a hand with a thumb and four fingers squeezed me. And I would have a bruise, a bruise, a bruise, a bruise, like just like a hand. And it was all the way up me, all the way up my side of my body.
Now,
And
was was it squeezing hard or was it just
yes,
squeezing with pressure?
well, to me, it was like hard squeezing me, like it was intentionally just really getting a good squeeze. And I mean, at one point, I'm not I almost screamed out, and but I was so scared to scream out that I was afraid that if I did, it would pull me through the tent. And so I just kind of put my right hand like over my mouth, and at one point it when it got so close up to here, it almost felt like it touched like my face, and remember jerking my hand away thinking, "Oh my god, it's going to feel my hand." And I even still then I'm laying there literally going through this, and I'm poking Lee so hard with my finger, and I'm just like, "God, please, please, like just wake up, please, just wake up," because I just wanted to feel safe in that moment, and I didn't. And that's just what affected me so badly. And like I said, at that moment, I told Lee, as soon as the grabbing stopped, I said to him, "We're leaving. I'm done. We're leaving now." And he goes, "Now?" in the middle of the night. And I go, Lee, I'm done. We're out of here. I need to go. We're packing it up. And he didn't understand in that moment. So I had to tell him the next day, like what I had gone through. And he goes, oh my God. He goes, that's what I was feeling. He's like, I thought it was this. I thought it was the mattress moving. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. And
How did
and
you know at that point that the creature had left when you were
it,
starting?
it hadn't left. It never left. It didn't leave until like it was almost like daylight. It stayed in our camp next to us for probably the next, like, I'm going to say 5 to 6 more hours. It never left
Oh,
our area. It was probably about 11 o'clock when it started. And it was probably about, I'm going to say about 6 o'clock in the morning when it finally decided to walk off and leave us alone. But the entire night, it's walking around us. And I'm not going to lie, after it did what it did to me, I feared that it was going to come back. Okay. It's almost like if you had, say, like you're in a home and there's an intruder. Okay. And you find a place to hide, but it finally leaves and you're alone and you're scared to death it's going to come back. Right. That's what it felt like to me. It was like this intruder came in and got physical with me, scared me out of my mind. And at that point, I was like, I just want to go home. I don't want to be here. I can't do this anymore. And you have to understand, like, like you said in the beginning, I grew up with this. This was not new to me. This wasn't something like, okay, I've never had an experience or I've never heard anything or seen anything or whatever. I've seen things, I've heard things, I've experienced all kinds of things. But that was by far crossing the line for me of my comfort zone. And it just hit me in a place where I was like, I went home so freaked out, afraid that I would never want to do it again. And for the longest time, I didn't. And I told him, I said, I think I'm done. I think I just got to take a break. Like I was having severe nightmares. I had to get on medication for PTSD. I had to go see a therapist. And I mean, I'm not joking. I seriously went down this really dark place because of it. It messed with me. And it took me 2 years. And this year is the first year, maybe a few months ago, I finally kind of like had peace with it. I really started to realize I'm okay. It was just curious. We're curious of them, they're curious of us. That thing could have killed me in a heartbeat. It could have pulled me out of that tiny little piece of material and tore me apart, and it didn't. But it took me a very long time to realize that I'm okay, that it didn't do that. And for whatever reason, it was just very curious about me personally, not so much him, but me for sure. And it was like it left a mark on me. And I went home with it. So yeah, it took me a long, long time before I was like, okay, I'm okay now. And so now I'm in a really good place. Matter of fact, I'm super excited about going. I'm actually really hoping that we'll have some really crazy fun and maybe some scary experiences again. Maybe not that quite scary. But I'm okay now. And I do realize that it didn't want to hurt me or scare me. I just don't think it realized that that would scare me as much as it did.
Jackie, I'm going to get you to hold on right there because we are going to go to break at
Okay.
the bottom of the hour. We're going to try and get in some audience questions when
Okay.
we return on Spaced Out Radio with our guest, Jacque Harmon. But we're going to talk about the emotion and why it took her so long to finally decide to go back in the forest? Is it bravery? Is it just testing our own fears? Or is it the curiosity that continues around the Sasquatch world? This is Spaced Out Radio.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott.
All right, we're clear. Fine on by, Jack. You have our audience right at the edge of your seats. Of their seats.
Well, there's a lot more to this story. I mean, like I said, Lee and I, we tell it great together. It's almost like when you go through something like that with somebody, it's a forever bond. It's like something that you can't just go out and recreate that. You know what I mean? It's just no matter what happens for the rest of our lives, we will forever remember that. We will forever have that in our life, in our memories, and in our experience. So,
Yeah. I'm
yeah.
the same way with Samantha Mowat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, geez, I knew the lady 20 minutes before we walk into a forest and there's aliens standing in the forest,
Yeah,
and you get that bond.
you do. You definitely do.
Yes, Jax has definitely had firearms training.
I've had what?
Nicole wants to know, have you had firearms training?
Definitely. I grew up with guns. Yes. I'm very experienced.
Not
Yes.
necessarily stoned, but beautiful. Come on, Jimi Hendrix, anybody get that?
Yeah, but I will say this, unless something horrible was happening, I would never want to harm one. Never.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. I don't want to harm one either.
No. And like I said, this story, like I said, it took me a really long time to understand it didn't want to harm me. Because when you're going through something like that, that's all you're thinking and feeling is that it's going to harm you. It's going to most likely kill you. And it's sad because I literally thought the worst of it. And it took me a long time to come to terms with the fact that I just assumed the worst of it. Now, it's not a human. I don't even trust a lot of humans. But we're talking about this enormous creature that we don't know that much about, but we do know some stuff about. But you really just don't know, like, what is it capable of doing if it feels like it doesn't want you there. And that was something that I personally had to deal with. And like I said, I'll be the first to admit I have no secrets about this situation. I tell the absolute truth about the situation. That thing messed with me pretty bad. Really bad. Like I said, I did therapy. I mean, I took medication over it. I was having nightmares. I was waking up every night in sweat, like drenched in sweat from the nightmares. And I would dream that they'd be like in my room watching me. And maybe it's because I'm thinking that they're going to come grab me again. I don't know. But that's what I dealt with for a really long time. And so I had to reach out and get help. And let me tell you something, it's not easy to find a therapist who understands what I went through. It wasn't an easy situation. The first couple people I talked to were like, I'm not even going to deal with that. I don't even understand what you're even talking about. So they wouldn't even work with me.
We got about a minute to go here.
So yeah, anyway, that was my experience with that. So but I'm good. Like I said, I'm really good now. Um the therapy helped, the medication helped, but now like I said, I'm just in a really super good emotional, physical and mental place with it, and I've come to terms with the fact that it did not mean me any harm.
I'm gonna get you to hold on right there. Hi, Beth. How you doing? And who else has jumped in? Ms. Tessa Marie, how are you? And let's see who else has jumped in here. Thank you for getting the Hendrix reference as well. Thank you, T-Bone, for the gift. Thank you for the super chat, Lil Cam as well, David and Dutch Hank. Here we go. Let's go to the second half of Spaced Out Radio. That's where we are. I'm Dave Scott. I like to go look for Bigfoot. I've never had a close encounter like this. If you missed the first half of this show, you want to know what it's like to be literally groped by Sasquatch, you got to hear it. Go to our archives. They're always free on YouTube or any major podcast network. Our guest tonight, Jacque Harmon. Your story is incredible. It is very, very truthful. You were somebody who has been chasing this creature since you were 4 years old. So I think you, at about 20 years of chasing it?
Exactly. Yeah. And then maybe 1 or 2 more years on that. But yeah, so that is it. I think a big reason why I think I was caught off guard when this actual incident happens, because when you grow up with it and you grow up in a humongous family that takes you out and they're very much into Bigfoot and believing, and this is where I learned all of my Bigfoot knowledge, was learning the patterns, learning how trees are turned and bent and crossed and all these different things, and learning like what they mean. And you learn over year after year after year of patterns. So yeah, so that was one for me that's going to be forever in my books of um by far my craziest experience I've ever had. And I don't know if I'll ever have one just like that. I hope I don't, to be honest. But I do. I still now, well, at least now that I'm past, like, the hardship of what happened. Um, I do invite it back again. I am open to it coming near me. I wouldn't be surprised if we had some crazy experiences up there in Canada next month. Um, I actually do believe that it has some kind of weird connection with me. Maybe, like Lee says, oh, I think because you grew up with it, once you're in the Bigfoot kind of family, you're like forever in the family. And I guess that kind of makes a little bit of sense, because I have had quite a few different experiences. It's just not one as extreme as grabbing me and, scaring me the way it did. But I think maybe if I might have been in a little bit of a more of a mindset of like, okay, just lay still, it's just curious, and let it go, it may not have affected me quite as hard as it did. But because of the, like surprise grab, it just kind of came out of nowhere. And it was my first time in one of those floating tents that I'd never been in, and I'm not really good with being off the ground like that. I don't enjoy that at all. That was like a anxiety tent for me to begin with. But it was definitely a learning experience. And I've taken the last 2 years and I'm in a whole new, very like healthy place with it now. I'm very open to anything that it wants to do or come around me, or um it's like I guess I have like a whole new understanding of like what it was doing, and I'm not afraid like I was then. for me, it's more of a comforting thing now to know that I think it was just curious. And not that many people get to have an experience like that in the world. So I feel kind of special now. I feel like I'm like a special person to get that opportunity.
I can understand the emotions of what you're going through, but how, as somebody who has literally played this event over and over, probably a couple hundred times in your mind since this
Yeah.
happened, probably more.
Yeah.
When you sit there and you take a look at everything, how do you go from determining that it wasn't there to harm you to maybe it was just being curious and didn't realize the pressure that it was putting on you?
Well, for me, I think the fact that it has the ability to do anything it wants. I mean, the strength that they have is unreal. And you know, when you hear of stories about like, oh, it's so strong, it can pick up this, it can do that. And then when it grabs you and you actually feel the pressure of its hand and how tight it can grab onto you, I don't think they even realize how strong they really are. I don't think they realize, like, as humans, we don't have the same strength. So I'm not even sure it realizes like how hard it squeezed me or grabbed me. And like I said, I don't think it meant to hurt me. I don't think it meant in any way to like even scare me. I think that just that curiosity, just like, I see you, I saw you outside a minute ago, and now I know you're in there. And I don't know, it was almost like a, hey, come out. You know what I mean? Like, get out of the tent, come outside with me. And as crazy as that sounds, I no longer have that fear that it's going to hurt me or kill me. It could have done it. It could have easily killed us both in like a heartbeat. And it didn't. And that was the part that took me so long to get past. It was like, why did it touch me? Why did it squeeze me? Why did it intentionally come for me? You know, why not Lee? Why did it didn't even care about, you know, what he was doing. And he was snoring. You can hear him on the audio snoring away. It could care less. It was very much just like, you know, she's there. I'm interested and I want to touch her. So,
Did Lee have any cameras going on the outside?
you know, we did have cameras going on, and we also had our a trail cam pointing right at us. That's what was so bizarre, because right before it approached us, it opened the trail cam and shut it off. And you could physically hear it open, click, and shut right off. So it knows, it's smart, it knows what's going on. It knows that we're trying to capture it on film. Like I said, at one point it walked around our camp and it literally decided to start touching the cameras. And you can hear it click the button and a picture's taken. So it's crazy. It's like, okay, is it just randomly touching it and it just happened to touch that button? Or does it really know what it's doing? I just think they're so much smarter than people give them credit for. And I know there's a lot of people out there like me, I think you as well. We know they're highly intelligent beings. Uh, the fact that they have language blows my mind, but yet at the same time, it's like, yeah, why wouldn't they? You know, like, it's like a dog barking at each other. They're somehow communicating. It's the same
Let's get
thing.
let's get to some audience questions here, Jackie, because we got a
Okay.
number of them for you. Jackie, there is a hitchhiker effect associated with the UFO phenomena. Do you think Bigfoot has a relation to UFOs?
Yes, absolutely. I think aliens and Bigfoot are interdimensional beings. They're very connected. I actually do believe that maybe Bigfoot is part alien. Maybe that's something that they're just connected. I do believe that they were here way before us, and they've always been here. I'm a big believer that aliens live on Earth, live in the ocean, come from outer space. They're just all surrounding. So we live amongst them and they were here first. But yes, I do believe that.
All right, let's move on. T-Bone Jax, are you worried about the chance of infrasound?
I do know infrasound exists. I think infrasound was something that messed with us while we were at Mount Adams. I think it messed with Lee. I think that was a big part of why Lee was affected the way he was. But yeah, 100% believe that they use infrasound to not only humans, but I think they do it for animals when they're hunting as well.
All right, let's make another one here. Let's go to Joe. After all this, Jackie, do you want to go back into the woods and find out which Bigfoot grabbed your butt?
No. No, I don't have like a beef with this Bigfoot or anything like that. Um, if I could go back into the woods and maybe like see the same one that touched me, yeah, I would like to see, but how would I ever really know which one it was? But um the one thing I do want everybody to understand is I don't have a fear of Bigfoot. Um, I didn't then, I don't now. I had a horrible experience happen with a Bigfoot. And that's what caused me to have the emotions and the fear and what I went through. But I've worked that out and I'm good now. So I'm ready to go back. Bring it on.
LJ wants to know, was this sexual in your opinion? Do you think it might have come back to try and abduct you? You've heard stories like that.
Yeah, no, I have heard strange stories about Bigfoot being attracted to women. That is something that was actually on my mind. I actually did talk about that with my therapist. The fact that I grew up being told that Bigfoot are very in tuned and very attracted to women. And I don't know if that's amongst all Bigfoot or just certain ones, but for some weird reason, I don't know if it's our scent. I don't know if it's our hormones. I don't know what it is, but it was definitely interested in me. I don't think it was sexual in any way, shape, or form. Now, Lee and I joke about it. I'm sure I've joked about it with you, Dave. But like, I say all the time, like, inappropriate, funny things about the situation. But they're totally jokes. And I never did feel like it was trying to get like inappropriate with me or sexual with me or anything like that. I just honestly, I believe that it was just curious and it was just more curious about me than it was him. And that's it. I just wanted to see what I felt like, I think.
Let's go to Dave here. Jax, was there any physical traces left around the tent or maybe a strand of hair left in the tent?
We looked around the next morning. We did have footprints around. But we looked and we did not see any hair. I thought maybe like where it hit the tent, there might be some hair. We looked and looked and looked for that. We never did, find anything like that. But yeah, that we did see footprints.
How many?
Oh gosh. I don't know. We actually have them on our video that we did when we show you guys on Element 115. I think it's episode 2. We show you guys the footprints and like my foot is standing next to it. There were actually 2. Lee and I both believe there were multiple of them. It wasn't just one there. We think it might have been a family. We're not really sure. But there were youth, like smaller ones, and so the prints are pretty small and then they're gigantic.
Jacque Harmon is our guest tonight on Spaced Out Radio. What's it like to have a close encounter with a Bigfoot? We are finding out right now. Jackie, next question from our audience. Let's go to Joe here. Don't the Sasquatch always just kind of feel the tent? And if there was a bottom of a tent, wouldn't they feel it too?
Um, You mean like in a regular tent?
Regular tent, I could see it happening. I've heard of it happening.
Okay, so this is not like growing up with my dad. This is not the first time that I've ever had an experience with the tent. I just never got touched before. We had like a hand get pushed in where we could see the hand. You could see like the shadow. You could see movement, like where it would like lean in on the tent, but it never actually physically touched us. This is my first experience ever in all the years I've ever done any kind of Bigfoot, Sasquatch stuff that it physically touched me. That's the first for me. It's never happened before that.
Okay, let's continue on here. Let's go to Nicole here. What did your family have to say?
About this circumstance that I went through?
Yeah.
They believed me. They just said you need to be careful. They know that I've had other experiences where they've gotten close to us or like lean in on the tent before, like I just said. They're just happy that Lee and I both came back, alive and well, and we're okay. But like my mom was very concerned about me at first because I wasn't dealing with it well at first. And like I said, I went down kind of like a scary little rabbit hole of not understanding how to deal with it, what to do with it. If do I ever want to go back? Do I want to give it up? It was a hard one for me, and it took me a long time, a really long time. At least for me, 2 years is a long time to deal with it. But they're very supportive. My family's very supportive.
Got a couple final questions from our audience. Go to T-Bone.
Okay.
If Dave, which is me, asks you to participate in the Estes method at his site, will you do it?
I don't know what that is.
We're going to blindfold you, put headphones, noise canceling.
Oh, yes. I do know what that is. And yes, I would do that. Yes.
Never know what you're going to get.
Never know what you're going to get. Listen, I'm a girl who's kind of up for anything. Like, after going through what I went through, you guys, things just feel different now for me. I think once you go through an experience that extreme, it really opens you up to, hey, listen, I'm open to going and doing new things and more things and opening myself up to the possibilities because maybe there's a connection there. And maybe it just took me a little while to figure out that it wasn't as scary as it felt in the moment to me.
I can agree with that. I had a situation 2 weeks ago. Yeah, 2 weeks ago. Where when my research buddy Brian and I were there, it was just him and I that day. And it felt really odd out there. Like scary odd.
Mm.
And we didn't even bring out any of our gear.
Oh, wow.
The only thing we brought out was our pointy sticks. And a couple pieces of like small gear that we could carry. We didn't even set up our lawn chairs, nothing.
Wow.
And at one point when we got back to base camp, I went and sat on a log and the trails into the forest were behind me. And I kept on, and Brian was kind of sitting on another log about 15 feet away. And I kept on feeling that something was going to rush up on me and grab me. Like it was absolutely vivid. I don't know if that was my imagination or if it was a precursor of something that could have happened. And I told Brian about it. I said, Brian, hey, come on over here for a sec. And I said to him, because one rule that we have with our team is if you're feeling anything, you say it.
Yeah.
I don't care if we're there 10 minutes. If you get that feeling that we got to go, we're in danger.
Yeah.
We're packing up and we're going to go.
Yeah.
Because it is safety first. And we are playing with elements that we don't know.
That's right.
So it's just a matter of safety. And I said to Brian, I said, I keep getting this feeling and I don't know if it's my imagination or not, but that something
Yeah.
wants to rush me from behind. So I actually pivoted on the log so that way I could see peripherally down the
Yeah.
trail. And Brian eventually came over. We were kind of side to side. He's looking up the trail. I'm looking through to another trail. And
Yeah.
it was like, okay, now this feels safe, you know? But I will say this though, when you have weird stuff happening around you, it's amazing when you take your pointy stick and you cock it really slow and loud.
Yeah.
You know, instead of going chit, you
Yeah.
go chick,
Yeah.
chick.
Yeah.
It's amazing how all of a sudden everything goes real quiet.
Yeah.
It's like all of a
Really.
sudden they know, oh, the humans are in business, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It's funny. That reminded me of the second location that we went to. We never even really got into that location. Something crazy happened there too, and I'll tell you guys all about that later. I know we're running out of time, but something that happened to me, Lee, and I at the very tail end of the night. We actually did a live show on Spaced Out Radio, and so we were up super late. And it was right around, I'd say maybe midnight. I think the show had just ended. And it was literally, and it wasn't even because of the first night, because the second location, I felt fine. And soon as the show ended, all of a sudden I had this horrible feeling of like dread. And it was awful. And I, out of nowhere, felt this fear and like if we were going to stay, something was going to like kill us and like shred us into bits and pieces. I mean, it was a horrible feeling. And I immediately looked at him and I said, I hate to tell you this, but we got to pack it up and go. And he goes, what? And I think he was a little irritated with me because he's like, you got to be kidding me. It's midnight. He goes, I'm tired. I want to go get some sleep. And I was like, listen, if you want to stay, that's fine. I'm getting in the car. I'm going to go down the hill. I'll come back and get you if you want me to, but I'm not staying here. I'm like, I don't understand what's going on, but it's not a good feeling. About 10 minutes went by and you could tell he was irritated with me. We're packing up like fast, fast, fast. And out of nowhere, about 10 minutes into us packing up, he goes, oh my God. And I go, what? And I'm freaking out thinking like he sees something, right? And he goes, I have that exact same feeling. And he didn't have it before. He was like, I think he was irritated that I was like, we're getting out of here. And then all of a sudden it's both of us. And it's just like you just know you're being watched and it's not good. And you just know you need to get your crap and get going. And that's what we did. And we could not get our stuff in that truck fast enough. And we knew we had to go back in the woods and get the trail cams. And neither one of us wanted to go. I'm like, you go get them. And he's like, no, we're going together. And I go, okay, good idea. We'll go get them together. I don't want to be by myself. But I swear to you, I had this flashlight and this like, I think it was like a laser. And I was like nonstop looking in the woods. I was scared out of my mind that something was going to rush us. That's what I felt. And when you said that, it reminded me of that. It was awful feeling.
I get it, Jackie. And, this is where, we have to really be careful when we're putting ourselves in those situations.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to stick around, I'll leave it to you because you've been awesome. Okay. If you want to stick around and do some more talk about this and other Bigfoot stuff with Grant and I,
Well,
you can do that if you want into
I
hour
will.
number 3. If you're awake, why not? I don't think Grant will mind. No, Grant's giving the thumbs up. So yeah, we can talk all about our own Bigfoot adventures.
There you go.
He's had some, you've had some, I've had some. You know what? We can. You want the UFO news from today? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. There's your UFO report. There's your UFO report. We're gonna bring Jacque Harmon back for hour number 3. Grant Baker's gonna join us. We're gonna share some Bigfoot stories with you.
There you go.
And we're gonna have some fun. Why not?
Good.
It's
Why
that
not?
night. I'm allowed. You know why I'm allowed? This is my show. I can
That's right.
dictate what I want to do. Spaced Out Radio's Hour 3 continues right after this.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott.
Great job tonight, mods. Thank you for your hard work. We're going to play a video here. We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Stop now! You're under arrest! Hands up! Don't move!
Don't get caught without your Spaced Out Radio merchandise. We have t-shirts, mugs, hoodies, socks, hats, stickers, and so much more. Whatever you're looking for, we have you covered. Why just be a fan of the paranormal when you can look the part? We don't have ugly merch, folks. Check out the Spaced Out Radio store. Find the link in the description below.
Dirty filth. Dirty filth. Dirty filth.
Object is heading north 045 degrees. It's definitely not a plane. It seems to be tethered to something. Is that a banner, Joe? Caribou Con. Does anyone know what Caribou Con is?
Caribou Con, one of the BC Caribou region's best-kept secrets. Until now. Join our panel of renowned paranormal experts for a weekend of fun and intriguing presentations. Go to cariboucon.com to book or inquire now. Discover Spaced Out Radio on all your favorite platforms. We're live every single night with the best in UFOs, cryptids, paranormal, and the unexplained. And you can find us on all your favorite platforms. Head over to Instagram for behind the scenes and daily weirdness, TikTok for quick mind-bending clips, Facebook for community discussions, and X for real-time updates and hot takes. Wherever you scroll, Spaced Out Radio is there. So go search Spaced Out Radio on every platform, hit follow, and turn on notifications so you never miss a single episode. The weird is waiting. See you there.
The McNeil House is one of several buildings at the 108-mile heritage site said to be haunted by spirits of a time long forgotten. But would you stay the night? Along with guided ghost tours and paranormal investigations, Haunted 108 is offering a chance to spend the entire night inside the historic McNeil House by booking one of our B&B style sleepovers, where you can experience the hauntings firsthand, meet the resident ghost cat, and witness unusual activity. If you dare to turn history into a night you'll never forget, book your spot now at haunted108.com. Spots are limited. Will you be brave enough?
All right, we bring Jackie on. We got the Grantavius one coming on.
Hi, Grant.
And
Hey, how you doing?
there's me.
Good. How are you?
Good to
I'm here
see you.
too.
Good to see you.
Hey, I've been here before.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's been quite a while. I think the Reno trip actually.
Reno.
Yeah,
That was a fun trip.
it was. I was only able to stay for one night, unfortunately, but I did ride my motorcycle all the way down there. And
I remember.
Yeah, I was wondering if it was going to be there the next morning when I woke up, and it was, surprisingly.
That was good. We got about 28 seconds. Thank you to T-Bone for gifting 2 memberships and laying down a super chat. Thank you to Lil Cam, David, and Dutch Hank. We appreciate that. And what do you say we come back? What do you think of my shirt, Jax?
Love it.
Get that on spacedoutradio.com. And
mine as well.
Here we go, everyone. This is the third and final hour of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. We're calling an audible. Instead of the UFO report, we're going to share Bigfoot stories with Grant Baker and Jacque Harmon sticking around for hour number 3 because she's having fun. She's having fun, so she's going to stick around. But first, we want to say hello to all of you tuning us in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. It is Sangfroid. Sangfroid is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Let's head to the swamp.
Hello and welcome to Spaced Out Radio's Swamp. I'm Swamp Dweller, and tonight I'm going to take you on a mystic journey of the unknown, sharing tales of monsters, legends, and nightmares. Welcome to the Spaced Out Radio Swamp.
This story is not my own, but it is my uncle's. My uncle lives in West Virginia, one of the more remote states in the eastern United States. While his main house is in a town, he also has a small cabin up in Spruce Knob, where he and my aunt would go during the summers. This cabin is very remote and accessed by jeep trails and isn't connected into the electrical grid. So, my aunt and uncle decided to take advantage of a 3-day weekend sometime in the late 80s and headed out to the cabin for some fly fishing and relaxation in the woods. When they arrived, my aunt went out to sketch some, while my uncle unpacked and built a fire in the fireplace. As it was already getting dark, as night began to fall, my uncle noted how unusually quiet the woods were. He has been camping, canoeing, and backpacking all over the world, and he still says that this is the quietest he has ever heard of the woods. He and my aunt packed up everything and went to bed late. Sometime around midnight, my uncle awoke to a strange thumping and scratching noise coming from outside. He thought it was probably a bear or coyotes trying to get at the dog, and grabbed his .44 Marlin to go deal with it. As he pulled the gun out from its case, The door to the outside swung open, and a very large, hairy shape, vaguely humanoid, appeared silhouetted in the moonlight. He said he never quite got a good look at it, but the one thing he really remembers is the overpowering smell of stench and decay and two glowing, reddish-yellow eyes. He quickly emptied the 444, and while he didn't get a kill shot, he did scratch the beast's arm, which caused it to run, squealing into the woods. He and my aunt immediately grabbed their things, got into their Bronco, and hightailed it out of there. Whatever my uncle saw never really bothered them again, and when he returned in the morning with more people and firepower, he found little evidence of any intrusion, except for a single strange clawed footprint in front of the cabin, and claw marks on the door. I don't really know whether to believe my uncle or not, but this is unlike any story I have ever heard from anyone in my family, and he was completely serious when he told this one, and my aunt backed him up. This story has always deeply disturbed me, as I spend a lot of time in the woods. I'll be making a trip to their cabin this summer, so maybe I'll see the strange beast too.
All right. Thank you, Swampy, for another spooky story. If you want more just like that, head on over to YouTube, type in Swamp Dweller, hit subscribe, ring that bell. Thousands of stories for you to listen to each and every night. So make sure you check it on out. It's time for Grant.
Tonight, still shining in the sky. Grant's got the stories breaking through. What hidden now comes into view. From distant lights to secret clouds, mystery strikes back for miles and miles. Latest news, truth revealed. Every signal slowly peeled. Don't shoot it close, don't miss the facts. UFO back, we've got your back. We've got radio. Becomes a song.
Grant Baker, good to have you here. And you know, we're skipping the UFO report. We'll do like a 12-second version. Grant, what's on the UFO report tonight?
Oh man, there's a few things. We got UFO whistleblowers, U.S. government hiding bodies of 4 alien races, which I think we've all known before, and Pentagon's UFO scientist claims I've seen the evidence, which is yes.
That's 12 seconds right there. Great job. Great UFO report. We appreciate you coming on in and taking care of that with us. Now, Jacque Harmon, you're sticking around as well. We appreciate you doing that, my friend. And we're going to kind of look at, you know, we've all had Bigfoot encounters. We really have had Bigfoot encounters, each and every one of us. And we've put ourselves in those positions. Now, Grant, you didn't put yourself. You kind of just had what happened. Let's hear yours, Grant.
Mine was actually pretty fun. I was living in a spot. I was very young, you know, between, I think I was about 10, 11 years old. In fact, if you want to bring it up on the screen for the people that are actually watching this, there is a map that I got from Google Earth. Now, this is a Northern California Google Earth picture. On the left, you can see Waterworks Park, Redding, California. On the right, you can see bottom right-hand corner, which is Shasta Lake. Right in the middle of it is a little bitty spot called Buckeye. I went to the Buckeye school there as well. And if you zoom down a little bit, here's the school for anybody that's wondering. And then the Keswick Reservoir, which is kind of like a river as well. And we used to live kind of out towards that reservoir. There's a hill between the school and the reservoir. And in fact, I had talked to my stepdad a few years ago and said, hey, and I asked him a few questions about it, which I'll get to here in a minute. The story goes, and it makes more sense now as an adult than it did back when I was younger. I was playing, I had G.I. Joes and Matchbox cars and everything, but it's red dirt out there. And I mean the kind that will stain white clothing like no tomorrow. I had a Red Ryder BB gun. I think it was actually a Daisy BB gun. and I wasn't cool enough to have the pellets or the bullets for it because my mom just wouldn't let me have them because I'd probably break a window or something. But I'm quite away from quite a ways in the back of the property, away from the house, and everything out there is manzanita. And during the summertime in Redding, California, in Northern California, the manzanita, you can see through it, and all the little bark is all curly cued, and we all like stripping them off and everything else. But you can see through the trees. I know. I mean, I don't know how tall they are. What, 6, 7 foot, something like that. And I'm playing, and everything gets really quiet. And I didn't notice it first. I just keep going on, ADHD kid out there playing with his cars and GI Joes. And then I did notice it, and I looked up, and I'm kneeling down. I'm not on my knees. I'm on the balls of my feet, and I'm just kind of squatting down there on the ground, playing with my toys. And I look straight ahead of me. And I look to the right, and I look to the left. And when I look to the left, I'm looking at legs, probably around 20, 25 feet away. These legs were right next to the trunk of this manzanita bush. And then I looked up, and all of a sudden, here I am, locked eye to eye with Bigfoot. When I got older, I used to tell people, oh, all his friends, because I think he just stumbled across me. Other people have told me otherwise. And he just stopped and was kind of witnessing what I was doing. Like, oh, here's a human child playing with his toys, having fun. And I joke, though, that all his friends told him it was okay. You can go around the kids because they don't have weapons. That gaze, when we locked eyes with each other, it was momentary. I mean, only a few seconds. And I reached down because I didn't know what else to do. I'm just a little kid, and this thing is huge, head and shoulders above this manzanita bush. And forward-facing eyes, this thing was not like the Patty Gimlin film where you see a brown, maybe overweight. Some people have said, I've heard she might be pregnant. It was a female. And I'm like, okay, cool. But what I seen looked nothing like that. This was like Arnold Schwarzenegger on steroids. This thing was built. I mean, you could see muscle definition through the fur. You could see it was tall, it was lean, it was muscular, and I mean, it was quite the sight. The other thing that I did notice was it wasn't brown or black like most people say they are. This was more like a peppered gray, like somebody that's, got that nice gentleman peppered gray look, kind of like Dave Scott. And, yeah, absolutely. And a little bit darker gray, though. So yours is the more gentlemanly side. He had the more like, I'm rugged and been through some stuff. Realistically speaking, though, and when I was that age, I wasn't thinking like that. I just noticed the color. I noticed the eyes. I noticed the build. And so I reached down and I picked up my BB gun, and it was a rifle. And I watched his eyes as this happened. And he went from my eyes to the gun, back to my eyes. And of course, at that moment, I just kind of looked down and looked back up, and he started running from my left at a 45 parallel to right in front of me. So he went just a 45 degree from my left to right in front of me, but he stayed about the same distance away. Then he turned left and went straight away from me as fast as he could. And I pumped up the BB gun once because it's just a little one pump, and I fired a couple air rounds at it because there's nothing there. And the weirdest thing happened. And when I was a kid, I didn't understand this, but I kind of get an inkling of what it is now. It melted, I guess, or dissolved would be a word for it, to actually look at through my eyes. And I wish we had the technology now to just plug into my head like Johnny Mnemonic and show you exactly what I saw, because I didn't understand why it disappeared as readily as it did, because there wasn't enough foliage and bushes and trees for it to do that. I mean, my perspective, I was short at the time, was limited, but I watched this thing disappear and go down towards the Keswick, ravine there. Immediately I get up, Run back to the house, and my mom's in the kitchen, which is right there by the back door. Swamp cooler's on, and I told her, I said, I think I just saw Bigfoot. And without a flinch, she says, no, you didn't. You didn't see that. It doesn't exist. Adamant. Like, go outside and go play. Why are you in the house? I'm like, no, Mom, I really seen this. And nope, you didn't. And so then fast forward, till a few years ago when I called Gary up, and that's my stepdad. And I said, Dad, this is what happened. And do you remember the street we lived on? He goes, vaguely. I know it was on the other side of the hill, and there was, it went down towards the river and stuff. And I said, okay. I said, this is what happened. And I told him. And he goes, I believe you. And I literally was shocked because my mom was adamant that this was not real. And he goes, no, I believe you. And I said, well, why? Why would you believe you? Because your mom was scared of him. And that's the reason why when you went and told her that you seen one, she did not want anything to do with it. I said, okay. And I said, well, why do you believe me? And he goes, I've heard them. He goes, they do this knocking thing, and it sounds like huge baseball bats on trees. They do these hooping and hollering, and they're down there. There's plenty of space for them to be down there. You got the river. They can go from the river. And for anybody that's actually watching the streaming side of this, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. So Redding's right in the center now. To the right of the screen, bottom right hand, is Shasta Lake, and that river goes all the way down into Shasta Lake. And he says they have plenty of food, they have plenty of wildlife. That's where they're at. We hear them down there all the time. And I said, okay, so I'm not crazy. He's like, no, you're not crazy. And then I said, this is what I saw. It was gray, like peppered, white and black fur, built like Arnold Schwarzenegger, except a little bit thinner and more athletic looking. And it was quite a while after that I realized that I didn't hear him running. And it wasn't because I was, scared and to the point where I couldn't hear anything, because I definitely could hear stuff. Because I did note when I watched him run from my left to straight in front of me, I was like, it's odd that I couldn't really hear him. I could, but it was so subtle and so light that it was like, whoa, what the heck? They're super agile, by the way. They can instantly go from a standstill to a dead run faster than, what's that guy's name? Bolt Hussein or whatever his name is. Hussein Bolt. And dyslexia, folks. So he could run that fast and much faster. He's very quick. It was literally a split second, and he covered that 50 feet like it was nothing, or maybe a little more. And ran straight away from me. The only odd thing, especially when I was a kid, was I couldn't figure out why it looked like he dissolved into nothing. And it was almost like he changed color. Now that I'm looking back on it, just slightly. Maybe I'm just seeing the color that was on the other side of him. I don't know. I can't speculate really, because you're talking about something that happened, almost let's say 35 years ago. And that was the last time I seen them. I've seen evidence of them, but I've never seen another one since. And maybe I shouldn't have picked up that BB gun, but literally, like, I have been wanting, like, it's a bucket list. I want to see two things: my UFO, or not my UFO, but my alien sighting when I was 5, and my Bigfoot sighting when I was 10 or 11. I would love to meet one of them again. Now that I'm a full-grown man, I can control myself. I'm not going to freak out. But that's exactly what happened. I don't know where to go with it, because it's one of those deals where I tell people about this, and I own a business. So I'm in a lot of people's homes, and I wear Bigfoot shirts, Bigfoot hats. And they're like, oh, you believe in Bigfoot? I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, then why are you wearing a hat? And I was like, I don't believe anymore. I know. And then I get to tell the story. That's how I lead off with it. It's a little like hook, cliffhanger. And I tell them the story, and inevitably they tell me theirs. And there's a lot of people, including my father-in-law, who had he won't even talk about it. You can see his face go pale anytime I sit there and bring it up. And I don't want to talk about it. And he had a hunting experience with one that scared the living daylights out of him. And to this day, he won't speak a word to it. You're on mute, bud.
I love Bigfoot stories. I do.
I have
And
something to add to that.
please do, Jackie. Go ahead.
Okay, so it's funny because I did not know that that's where you grew up. One of the probably one of the best locations I've ever seen actual proof was in Reading. And then right outside of Reading. And then funny enough, I have that exact same Daisy BB gun. I still have it. It was my first gun I ever got when I was 4. Ironically. But I have something to add to that. There was a woman, it was this summer, at Shasta Lake, claimed to see a Bigfoot. Yeah. And she was like a school teacher or something like that. And a lot of people knew her and knew like she was like, well credited. Like she wouldn't just go around making up stories, but she just claimed that she just saw a Bigfoot at that lake.
So the biggest thing is all 350 square miles, or actually I think it's 350 miles of shoreline. I've camped on at least half of that. I grew up there. I left Reading when I was 22. And I moved up to Klamath Falls, Oregon, which is where I'm currently residing. And I've always been around Mount Shasta as well. And so there are a lot of people down there, a lot of fishermen that go in because they go really early. And I hear a lot of stories from them. Oh yeah, no, I seen it. And it's and every single one of them's different though. They're not all identical. Like you see the film, the Patty Gimlin film of the female Sasquatch walking on the other side of the river.
Yeah.
And you might catch one that not quite the same scenario, but maybe the same looks. But every single one of them have something just vastly different than everybody else.
They're like humans. They're like just different kinds. It's like humans. They all come in different sizes and shapes and colors, and a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah,
No, that is very true. And foot structure as well. You can have one who that has the big toes. Some of them have splayed toes. Some of them are
like
missing toes,
nanu.
right? Right? Like
Right.
the track that Lee and I found when he was up here last year. I mean, it was 3-toed. It looked like a dinosaur print.
I was just gonna say some do look like a big dinosaur foot. Yeah, they do. It's strange.
We have 2 minutes to go before we got to go to break at the bottom of the hour. Grant Baker and Jacque Harmon sharing more Bigfoot encounters and stories. I think with us, like in our area that we go to, it always feels like we are being observed. Like it always feels that there is eyes in the forest on us. And there are times when we go up there, you don't sense a thing. But then when they are around, it's like they let you know. They don't make any noise. They don't make any sort of pressure in the forest. It's just this feeling that you're being watched. And look, a lot of animals will do that. There's been hunters all over the place, okay, that are, have wandered up on a sleeping bear or a moose or a deer or whatever it may be. And that's a scary, scary encounter right there as it is, especially if it is a bear that's startled. But with this, the best way that I think I could put it, and I'm sure you would agree, Jackie, is every animal gives off a feeling.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not using proper terminology. I'm using blue collar terminology. But you can almost sense, okay, that feels like bear energy. That feels like deer energy. That feels like cat energy. Okay, that feels like dog energy, which would be like a wolf or a coyote or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
and your brain, when you start feeling those eyeballs on you, your brain literally starts going through its Rolodex of energy feelings. What does it feel like? What does it feel like when a bear is around? What does it feel like when a cougar is around? Whatever it may be. And when it checks off all those instances on the Rolodex, as we go to break here, then you're left with the unknown that shouldn't exist. Jacque Harmon, Grant Baker, with us on Spaced Out Radio.
This is Spaced Out Radio. And your host, Dave Scott.
All right, guys, we're clear.
Did you hear about the one in Connecticut? Like last month?
I didn't.
Ooh, okay. All right. We got something. So T-Bone asks fight or flight or fight or fight, fight, whatever is energy. I might have to repeat this, but you don't necessarily have that at these encounters. We'll just put it that way. I'm just responding to the chats at this moment. So, and we'll talk about that because there is a feeling. I didn't smell anything. We'll get to. I'll just shut up. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But remember that question because there is a definite feeling of calmness. So I don't know. It's good being with you, Jax. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you too.
That's great.
Are you going to Caribou?
I cannot.
No,
I got four kids and just so much on my plate that being on here is my getaway. In fact, I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to start back up the UFO Max on Wednesdays because of the baby. That's making it a little bit difficult because of the timing.
Yeah.
Because
it's hard with little ones.
Yeah.
Amy, hello, how are you? Nice to see you.
Heck yeah, one of your favorite conversations ever.
Amy, hello, right there. It's one of my favorite conversations ever.
That's good.
Having it.
It's gonna be my new slogan. Favorite conversations ever.
PTSD happen again. Well, my PTSD's gone now. I'm good.
Not mine.
I'm good. I mean, it might come back if something crazy like that happened again. I hope not. But you never know.
Walter Kochabinski, how are you? Who else has joined us? Let's see here.
Oh, I made your PTSD come back. Oh, I'm sorry.
Not mine. Mine never went away.
I mean, there's probably going to always be a little bit right there in the back of your mind, but it's time to let go and move on.
I have in that instance but the PTSD. So when you're 5 years old and you were raised by a very highly strict religious family that never let you watch TV and everything, and you see an alien break come through your window, and it literally to this day, I know that if I ever see one again, I'm not sure exactly how I'll react. I want to just zen out and be like, okay, dude, let's have a conversation. But there's also, that's the reason why I never got regressed because Zeb, what's her name? Zatsky or whatever?
Yep, Shakti.
Thank you, Shakti. Yeah, she's amazing, by the way. And she's like, I'll do it. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to go through that again.
I would love to do that. I would absolutely love to go do that. And I think that because of what I went through, actually, it's funny because it's not even the first night of what I went through, I would want it. But the second night we were there, I would want it for because I had a very strange experience of time missing. And I've never had that before. And that was a first for me. So I still to this day don't understand what happened, but there was a very bright light that came into the tent the second night. out of nowhere. I mean, we're in the middle of like a mountain. There's no light. There's nothing. No people, no cars, no lights, no nothing. And then it was so bright it lit up the entire tent. And then all of a sudden it was boom, gone. And I'm like, what in the world? Where did that come from? No sound, nothing. And so I told Lee, I said, hey, what would do that? And he's like, I don't know. And I said, well, let's timestamp that. And I laid there waiting for it to happen again, which I thought well, it did. It happened it twice. And I thought it had been like maybe 5 minutes. And when I asked him what time it was, he said it was 5 hours later. And I was
1
like,
second, Jack.
no.
1 second. Thank you to our super chatters, Dutch Hank, David, Lil Cam, and T-Bone, who also gifted 2 memberships. Thank you to everybody who's given us a thumbs up tonight. Thank you to our mods for a great show. Cynical, how you doing? Good to have you here. And there we go. Here we go with the final half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Just some chatter. We're taking on Bigfoot here. Jacque Harmon's going the distance of 3 hours. Grant Baker is here. We appreciate you guys coming on in. Thank you very much. Right before the break, we were talking about the energy that these give off. Jacque, you wanted to make a comment on that.
Oh, so the energy about, okay, so what I have felt personally is I've had different things happen with energy in regards to how I feel when we just had a conversation about being watched. So perfect example of that is during the daytime before Lee and I even had any kind of activity happening, all day long, I kept saying, there's a strange energy here, and I feel like we're being watched. And I kept pointing at this one exact spot over and over and over all day long. Nowhere else, just this one spot. And lo and behold, that's exactly the spot where it decided to come into camp. And so I don't know if it was there all day watching us. I don't know what was going on, but I had a very weird experience the second night with the light that came into the tent. And that I still to this day don't understand, because it was like this massive light out of nowhere in the mountains lighting up this tent. And I'm talking about like midnight. And I said to Lee, what time is it? Let me because I'm a big time stamper. I timestamp everything. I want to timestamp it. I want to make notes. And then I want to come back and I want to figure out, was there a pattern there? I'm a big pattern person. So I thought 5 minutes had passed. All of a sudden, I go, light comes back, and I say, okay, there it is. What time is it? Thinking it's 5 minutes. And he said it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm thinking, like, wait, what? No, doesn't make any sense. It was like 5 minutes ago. Like, that can't be. And so, still to this day, I'm very confused by what happened there, because I was fully awake. I didn't drift off. I didn't go to sleep. And so none of that makes sense to me. So we were just talking about, maybe like talking to somebody or having somebody like help us figure out where we were, what was going on. And I would like to do that someday.
So there is Deb Shaktis that is the regression expert. Amazing woman. You'd love her to death if you ever met her. And there is in a few things that I have been through, I'm still, like I've told you before, I'm scared to get regressed on, especially with an alien coming through my window at 5. I do have missing time on that one as well. At least I think I do. I didn't have timestamps, unfortunately. I didn't get any crazy lights, but I will say that there are places that I don't think when you think you're being watched. I think that's more of maybe an alignment of tuning to a thinner veil between us and them. And the reason why I say that is because if anybody's been watching Congress and what they say, especially when it comes to, UFO news, UAP news, alien news, disclosure, whatever you want to call it, you're hearing a lot of Congress people talk about, different realities, different dimensions, or a thinning of the veil. And I think that's what we do feel. Now, there is a place, just like I was telling you before, when I lived in Buckeye, California, when I was a child, I moved around a lot in Northern California. I mean, I went to school down in the Bay Area, and then and my summers were up in Northern California. The Bay Area is considered northern, I guess, to some people, especially where you're at right now. But there is Whiskeytown Lake. And Whiskeytown Lake has a lot of interesting things, and I used to go down there a lot because it was 30-minute drive. You'd be out 15 miles in the middle of nowhere. And, we all knew how to get out of there. Sheep Creek, just to name a couple places, or one place individually. I have friends that will not go back there. And if you want to see something crazy, I'll give you the exact coordinates. I can even take you there, but I will not stay there the night again to this day. There is many different feelings and auras that you get down there, including orbs, if you want to see orbs. But Bigfoot is prevalent down there, and you get that feeling, like you said, of being watched. This particular spot is almost a hyperbed of activity. Not only with orbs, but being watched, the feeling of unease, and sometimes the feeling of straight giddiness, like you're on something, because we'd go out there and it's so hot down there when we'd be out there. You don't take any, alcoholic beverages. There's no need for that because you don't want to, unalive yourself by dehydration. So we'd always take a lot of water and maybe a couple other teas or whatever. And the water running through there you can drink. We would hear noises from maybe 10, 11 o'clock at night till 3 in the morning, maybe. And it sounded like there was machinery under the earth beneath you. And the people that had seen Sasquatch down there is prevalent. So if you want to know the area, I'll link it to you later and send you the exact coordinates of where I'm talking about. And if you ever want to go visit it, these things that you're talking about happen. And the feeling of being watched, sometimes with unease, sometimes you're just like, oh, they're out there. And we all, stoke up the fire and come on, guys. We got some Campbell's chicken noodle soup we'll give you. Let's try that. And we would have fun like that when I was younger. I haven't been there in 26 years. That's how long it's been. But I can drive you to the exact spot and be like, here it is.
You're like, get out.
I won't necessarily leave. I just have not only my own experiences, but I have a friend of mine, and she's very close to me. Well, she's far away now in Washington. When I talked to her before I actually met Dave, I said, hey, can I say something about, what happened to you during this time when you were at our campsite? And she's like, you can say it, but I don't want you to know my name. Well, sorry. But she saw an orange orb the size of a basketball on the other side of the stream. And it's not a river, it's a stream, more or less. And so it's like 20 feet away, and scared the living daylights out of her. She will never go back. Neither will her husband. And but
Interesting.
it's beautiful during the daylight and so remote, and there's so much wildlife that Sasquatch has a very easy time kicking it down there and being able to survive.
Well, those orbs go hand in hand with Bigfoot. If you guys have had real experiences, they go hand in hand. Anytime you have an experience, you'll see the orbs, and they're usually orange.
That's the exact reason why I pulled that up.
Yep.
And I went to high school with her, and what's funny is we went to, I guess I can say it because it's no longer there. And it was a Baptist high school right off Hartnell in Redding, California. I mean, religious high school, my family. And so but we were kind of the outcasts, black sheep, so to speak. And so we'd always have these, fun parties, and my brother would be down there, and he's heard it too with me. And I'm like, what the heck is that? Like, what is that? But there are, just like you were talking about, feelings. So when I saw my Sasquatch, everything was just calm. And then the only fear that was in the building, so to speak, was his, not mine. I didn't know what to do. I was kind of at a loss. I was more confused, and I was just like, it wasn't that I was like really scared. There was just a feeling of, I don't know what this is. And so I'm going to pick
None of
this
us
up.
do. You
Yeah.
know, when you think about it, like none of us do, unless it's something like you were born into or you had around you your entire life. Like we're on the same boat on that one.
Yeah.
We don't know.
So there's a place. You ever been to Oregon?
Yes.
So do you know where Cave Junction is?
Heard of it.
So if you take I-5 north and go to exit 55, 58, doesn't matter which, it's all Grants Pass. And I would suggest take 55. And as soon as you get off the exit, just keep going straight for a long time. Just go straight. Go through all the stoplights and everything until you get out in the wilderness again. Keep going straight, and you're going to be headed towards the coast. It's like going to Brookings. And before you hit Brookings, about a third of the way, you're going to hit a place called Cave Junction. Me and Terry Hall went to visit Kevin Day once, and we stayed there with Tim for about I don't know what, Dave, 3-4 days, something like that. And in Cave Junction, there's a photocopy / paper place that also doubles as a UFO, or not UFO, sorry, Sasquatch museum-ish kind of place. They have all the paraphernalia, buttons, pins, t-shirts, everything you can think of that has to do with Sasquatch. And in the very back left corner is a room where they have the cast footprints of Sasquatch and gift sites and all stuff. And they got a book and a map. And it says, where did you see Sasquatch? Well, I don't remember the number of the pin that I took because they only had a certain number of pins. And so people take them out of the map and place it where they want to with their number, and they put pin 42 or whatever it is. This is where I seen it. And so I have an entry in there, and they only give you, and they do have real, plaster casts of, and you can still see some grass in some, or where the grass was that they picked out of it, and dirt and stuff of the actual footprints of a Sasquatch. And just like the footprint just to the right of Dave's shoulder, well, left, if anybody's looking at it on the screen. And it's an amazing, no matter where you go, there's always somebody, multiple people. I don't care where I'm at. I can go to some dive cafe somewhere that serves, tuna sandwiches on white with no crust, and you're going to find somebody in there that literally is going to have a story of Sasquatch every time, without fail. I love it.
Do you ever have an experience?
And that's really what it comes down to, isn't it? Are you struggling, Jax?
Well, I'm getting this very bizarre, like staticky sound on my.
You're losing your volume. You're clipping in and out. So, let me just say this first, as we got about 8 minutes to go here with Grant Baker and Jacque Harmon on Spaced Out Radio. We are talking about, people who've had encounters, people who have had the ultimate experience with these Sasquatch-like creatures. And, Grant, one of the things that Jacque and I were talking about just a little bit ago before you came on was that I've never smelt one. She's never smelt one. And yet you have all these people who think that there is, this bad odor that comes along with it.
I've been told that many times. I've heard this. I've read it. I've seen it in magazines where people are talking about this. Watch YouTube, and people are like, "Oh, it stunk like garbage," or "It smelled like a sewage plant." The one that I came across, and I think that the wind, and this is just my analytical and deductive reasoning side of me, The wind was actually not in my favor because I didn't smell anything at all. I didn't even hear anything. I heard silence because everything that was around me went quiet. So I don't know if that's animals understand the presence of Sasquatch and they just know to be quiet. And I mean, it was dead silent. Not even the wind made noise, even though it was not a windy day. But I just didn't, and that's what caught my attention ultimately was the fact that it was way too quiet. And that's what made me look up. And then I hear all these stories about people smelling this just rancid, putrid meat smell. I'm like, I didn't smell that. This dude looked clean. Like he was not clean shaven, obviously, but he was clean, like a wolf clean. That's as far as I can even put it. Is he looked like a wolf, except much shorter hair. The other thing that I noticed as well was not only that there was no smell, but that the nose and mouth didn't look like an ape. I've seen some where they look protruded. There's a movie about it. I can't remember what the movie was. It's kind of Harry and the Hendersons. There it is. And they're just like, oh yeah, it looks like this. That's not exactly what mine looked like. It had a mouth. It was distinct, and it was bigger than mine, and it had a nose, but it wasn't as big as mine. And I don't know, man. Like it was just completely odd, especially after years of me, reminiscing on this and going back to it. And it's just one of those memories that I have, and I don't want to add to it. I just want to take away what I have, and I don't want to sit there and listen to other people and be like, "Oh, mine did this, mine did that." No, mine didn't have any of those. In fact, the fact that mine was gray and black, like peppered, like a peppered beard or peppered hair, the coolest man in the world. That's all I got. No smell, hardly any noise. I don't even remember his eye color now. Like I just remember his eyes looking at me, and I was kind of transfixed. I mean, he was a good-looking dude. That's all I can say.
That was just a mirror, Grant.
It was just a mirror. Jackie, as we got about 5 minutes to go here, what do you want people to know about these creatures? What do you want them to understand?
Well, what I really want people to understand is that they've been here a lot longer than we have. And I really don't feel anymore. No, not that I ever really felt that, but I 100% don't feel like they mean any harm to any of us. And that where they live, that's their home. We're kind of invading in their space, even though we are curious about who they are, what they are, how they live, whatever. Um, that they don't really mean any harm to anybody. And so I really hope that nobody ever really has the feeling or intention of ever wanting to go out and hurt one because they actually have families. They're just like us. They have mates, they have families, they have children. I mean, there's generations of them, and they all live together, move together. And, when you're in their space, they just sort of want to make sure that they're safe as well as we're safe. So if people
And
can understand that, that's all I care about.
and the thing is the fact that he understood what a weapon was, even though he probably didn't understand it was a BB gun, like it shows a sentient. And I like to believe, and the way he was watching me, I think he happenstance across me. Some people say he didn't. Some people said those interactions are not happenstance, that they're purposeful, and they get you on the right track or something. But the way he was watching me was more the way I felt it even then as a child was out of curiosity, and
Yep.
and he was calm and collected until I did what I did, and he's like, oh no, the children have guns too. What the heck is going on in America? But realistically, though, I mean, I didn't feel like he was gonna come at me. I didn't feel any animosity. There was fear. a little bit at the end there, and that's the reason why he did what he did. But I mean, they have. I feel full sentience. There is a full sentience, and I think based off of just that belief alone, they have to. It's inevitable. Have not only a love for their family, and everybody's like, well, why don't you find the bodies? Well, because they probably have a different criteria of how they deal with that than we do. We just bury our dead in big graveyards and whatever, or cremate them
Yeah.
and have. But they have a. They're different from us.
Well, if you know it or not, Grant, that alien that you saw when you were young and the Bigfoot that you saw could be very related to each other. And it could be something interdimensional and connected that more than you'll ever know.
I've been told that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been told that, and I'm still looking into it. It's the type of, and I'll text you after the show. I'll just send you a picture
Okay.
of the being that I saw, because there was a rendering, a computer animated rendering that someone did a few years back. I used to have it behind the wall when I was doing the weekend show, and I called him Skinny Bob or whatever. And when I saw it, it gave me the chills, because I stopped dead in my tracks, and I even told my wife, I was like, "Hey, you need to come here and look at this." And she's like, "Why?" And I'm like, "You remember how I told you the story?" And she's like, "Oh," rolled her eyes, "Yeah, what?" And she comes around the corner, she's like, "What is that?" And I'm like, "Whoever made this rendering, seen it, hands down, because you don't make it that close from what I saw when I was 5."
Yeah. Exactly.
And I think it's all connected. I think what we're dealing with when we look at UFOs and aliens and Bigfoot and all the cryptids, I think they're all connected. I think,
are.
including humans, we're all connected.
We are.
And we just got to figure out the algorithm and how we're connected. And just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I think it's absolutely wonderful. And it's always great to have these, personalized conversations that are going on with Sasquatch, when you get real people who are having real encounters, whether it's aliens, UFOs, Bigfoot, Dogman, ghosts. You never know what it could be. But the big thing is that these encounters are happening. These encounters are taking place. You don't have to believe them just because you don't believe in the subject. But you know what? Respect the people who do, because it's not like they chose to be groped by Bigfoot, to be taken by aliens, to be scared as a child. Okay? Monsters are out there. That's the fun part of what we do. And that's why we do it for you here each and every night on Spaced Out Radio. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, Grant.
Welcome.
As we say good night to our panel. And hello to Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Thal, rocking in the background with Little Brother is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, at home, in your cars, wherever you may be. Thank you to everyone in our chat rooms tonight. YouTube, Twitch, LGAP, Facebook, Spreaker, LinkedIn, the Space Travelers Club, and on X, hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Remember, this show is copyright by Spaced Out Radio and Bigfoot Broadcasting Limited. Thank you so much for choosing to share your evening with us. Because together, my friends,
We're watching.
we own the night. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Yes, the Woo Train has docked for the night. But soon, my friends, we shall ride again. Your seats are always available. Your tickets never expire. And if you want to bring a friend, we've got room for them too. Good night, everybody.
Don't hit the wrong button. Don't hit the wrong button.
Oh, okay.
I will forever, after a few nights ago, tell him, do not hit the wrong button. Oh.
Uh-oh. Did you hit the wrong button, Dave?
It wasn't fun.
Oh, no.
Dave made himself so mad that I've never seen Dave mad at anybody else like that. He was so mad at himself. And there's only a couple times where I've seen Dave mad, and it's very rare. And
Yeah, it is rare.
And usually it's if there's weird things going on in the chat, especially when it comes to certain things, then he gets upset. But
hey, buddy.
Oh, time for WABC.
Yeah, you're early. You're about 2.5 minutes early. All right.
For a few minutes, I had to get up and walk around for a second. I had the craziest thing going on with my phone. It was like pure static. And it was like right after you were talking about hearing the weird noises underground. And all of a sudden, my phone was like insane static. Like just loud static. And I've never heard my phone do that before.
Hey, Jack, stay on StreamYard. Even though
I'm going to keep this going. You guys chat away.
All right. Because I'm going to show you something.
I'll show you something.
Okay.
Quickly here.
It's not giraffes taking a shit in a pond, is it?
No, but I can send you a picture if you want.
I knew you would. Here, let me do this. That's him.
Send it. You gotta send that to me.
Okay.
That's crazy.
This here, right in here somewhere, is where Flight 21 is.
Out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh wow! How far away are you from there?
I'm right. Well, I live up here.
Oh.
It's about 25 miles.
Wow.
Okay. 25 miles?
Yeah.
Oh, you're close.
That's as the crow flies.
How long does it take you to get out there?
About an hour and 15.
Wow.
Oh.
Some fire roads and stuff, back roads, hill roads.
All back roads. There's nothing paved there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now, are you gonna camp there at all?
Oh fuck no. Oh no. No, been there, done that. Not doing that.
Really?
Hold on. Now I have to find it again.
Aren't we doing an investigation there?
We're doing a few investigations there, but we're not.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, look at here for a second.
Okay.
Show you guys. So, where's Flight 21 again?
That's
Flight 21 is in here, and if we go about another hour,
that looks like a face.
It does. Or about an hour and a half. Look what we have here. Royal Canadian Air Force Dog Creek Aerodrome.
Oh.
There's a runway there.
I can see it.
Interesting.
I just love the fact you're like, oh fuck no.
No, I'll never stay out there again. I did it once. The dream is over.
Oh.
That's how I felt when I was at Mount Adams. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, yeah, one and done. I'm going home.
All right,
and then he kept begging me to go back, and I was like, "You're out of your damn mind." He went back by himself.
Oh, he does, dude. Lee's something else. He's a monster when it comes to doing that kind of stuff.
You know why? I think it's because he didn't have the same exact experience that I did.
Right.
And I think if he had, it would have changed things for him. I mean, I'm glad that he didn't, and it didn't scare him off, but he needs to be careful. That's all I got to say.
He does, but I mean, I've talked to him quite a lot, and we did the UFO Max together, and I know he's waiting for me to get it back on, but some of the conversations we've had and some of the things he's done, I'm like, dude, and he's like, I just love it, and I'm like, you must. And I want to shit my pants. I'm like, okay, dude, like, go for it.
Right.
Like, I'll go with you as long as it's daylight. And he's no, watch this. I got all this equipment. And I mean, he showed me like a quarter of the stuff he's got. And I'm like,
Oh
bro,
yeah.
like I got a Cadillac outside. You have more money in that equipment than this brand new
He does.
CP6.
He
I'm
does.
like,
I'm not even lying. I've been there. That man has more freaking. And I'll tell you this: when we went to Mount Adams,
mhm.
I was at his house. We loaded up the equipment, and I bet you we didn't take a quarter of what he had at the house. It was insane how much equipment has.
Insane. It is.
I asked him, I said, I hope to God you have like insurance on this equipment. Because if someone was to break into his house,
Be ridiculous. They wouldn't have a van big enough to hold it all.
no.
And on top, like this guy's got equipment that he can catch a gnat farting on the hilltop 4 miles away.
We
I'm not
did.
kidding.
That's what I'm listening to all the time. I get on, I'm listening to the like it's about 6 or 7 hours of audio that night that we were there. And I'll have you guys listen to it. I'll find a way to send it and you guys listen to it. It's insane.
I'll
You
listen to
can
it.
you can hear them
right
walking around,
Love you.
touching all our stuff, messing with all our crap. I mean, I went to the Dollar Tree and I got this little harmonica, and I tried to like play it when we were out there, and it was like, wow, it was like kind of broken, but it made like a little noise. And at one point, you can hear it pick it up and go, "Whoo, whoo, whoo," like try to blow it, like it watched me and it knew what to do.
So that's the thing. I think they're just curious. They have a much. So I read a lot. Well, I used to read a lot. I've only got maybe 1,500 books under my belt. Now I listen to all my books. I just listen to. So I do about 2 books a week, as fast as I can listen.
Week?
Easily. So and
Like
the reason,
audiobooks?
yeah, and the
Okay.
reason why is because I own A1 carpet cleaning here in Klamath Falls. And so it is I am so good at what I do. I guess I'm not good at it. I'm good at it, but I mean I'm so adept at what I do. It's mindless for me. I just go through the motions, and there's no thought process behind it anymore. And then like, so I just put on my headphones or my earbuds, and I sit there and I do my thing. And so I have hours during, like tomorrow, I have a church to do, and that's going to take me 4 hours. And then I got another house that's going to take me 2. And so I got 6 hours of listening time. And most books are what? 24 to 36 hours ish.
Yeah.
Right. So I can clear 2 books a week easily.
Wow.
And I understand them. Most books that I listen to are I've already read myself anyway. But the thing is I think they have, and I don't want to go too off the rails with this one when it comes to the woo, but there's a lot of fantasy books that I used to read when I was younger, like, that kind of ring true in certain aspects when it comes to Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And because I've read books like that, and books about Sasquatch are actually considered fantasy.
Yeah.
They're not science fiction.
I don't remember where I'm trying to remember where I saw it at. I don't remember if it was online. Let me think. Where was I? Can't remember if I was in a place or if I saw it online. But anyway, it was a romance book about Bigfoot and a woman. And
That's happened.
I was like, what? Like, and it kind of like caught me off guard, and I was like, okay, like I've heard things like that, but I've never seen people like actually make a book out of it. I thought like it is like a full-blown romance book. And I was like, I don't know if I like, and now I'm like interested. Now I'm like so curious. I'm like, I want to know more about this. I don't know if I want to, or if I'm that curious, or if I'm not. I don't know. But I'm like, am I going down a crazy rabbit hole for this?
Well, I mean, I can understand that. Thank you, Thunderhead Son. It's a cool spot, and if you ever want to go sailing, let me know. I have a pretty nice yacht out there that we can go sailing in. Anyways, I understand that this has happened. There was a story about a guy. I mean, this is a long time ago. Let me think about it. There was a person, a child, that was abducted by Bigfoot, lived with the family, escaped to tell about it. And I'll have to look it up for you, and I'll give you, if I can find the actual real relevant story.
Oh, wow.
I'll get it for you. And then, I mean, like for a while, lived with him for like a week. Thought
Wow.
he was gonna. It might have been a he or she. I can't. I want to say it was a
I'm
he.
sure they thought they were going to die.
Yeah, but then it was like they wanted him to breed with their offspring, and he was like, "What? No." Real quick, we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
So here's one of the most notable encounters, and this is what I would consider a Class A sighting.
Yeah.
And so all I have is a little bit of information here, but this was on July 5th of last month, like literally 2026. And this is, and I'm gonna annihilate the pronunciation on this. I will spell it first and then try to say it, and I might not want to. Pachaug. Pachaug.
Pachaug.
Pasha State
No,
Forest.
where's this at?
It's in Voluntown, Connecticut.
It's probably some bougie name like Pushaw.
That might be right. Pasha.
Yeah. Something.
This is Voluntown, Connecticut. It made headlines, right? And this is after the Bigfoot Field Researcher Organization. For anybody that wants to know, that's BFRO. Class, and this is credible, exceptionally credible. So here's what I have on it. The location, which is what I just tried to enunciate. So it's Voluntown, Connecticut. It's bordering the Poshog State Forest. I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's also a witness description. The observer reported a large bipedal ape-like creature standing roughly 8 to 8.5 feet tall. The appearances and features was described as broad shoulder with coarse, matted dark fur. The witness also noted distinct physical details rather than a brief shadow or ambiguous figure, which is exactly what I seen because I seen the details, which prompted the BFRO. There's an investigation team there to issue their highest confidence rating. There was also, let's see, there was another one in August. What month are we in? Of 26. Yeah. This was in Lost Creek Wilderness, Colorado. A hiker reported an encounter on August 5th of 2026, describing a 6-foot tall gray back bipedal figure moving an unusually fast forward striding pace across a meadow before vanishing behind trees, accompanied by a strong unpleasant stench shortly after.
Oh.
Then on March 25th, just a couple months ago, or a few months ago, in Boulder Foothills, Colorado. I thought it was going to be Boulder Creek, but it said
it's my son's birthday.
Yeah, there. Oh, hey, happy birthday. A longtime resident near St. Vrain Road reported observing an 8-foot tall, heavily limbed figure walking hunched forward in moonlight around 10 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Still happens every single day. There's billions of people in the United States. And even though the Western United States is on fire, the middle of the United States and all the way to the East Coast is not. And there's a lot of forest there. And there's a lot of hunters.
A lot of people don't even understand. Like, I had an experience up in it was the top right corner of Texas. And then we had another experience years later in a very odd, weird place in Oklahoma. which you wouldn't think you'd see anything like that.
Well,
And
Oklahoma
then
is very
again in
flat.
Louisiana.
So wait. Hold on. What part of Texas?
Okay, so we were in the top right corner of I'm trying to remember the name of it. We were traveling through Louisiana, and we went through, I think it was like down on the 10, if I remember right. And no.
I-10.
Wait, is it the 10? Let me think. Was it the 10? Wait,
So
it was
if you
higher up. It's the higher up. Was that the 40? Maybe that's the
no,
40.
so if you're going, let's say you're on I-5, you go down, and you want to, here, let me, because I've been down there.
Okay. We went camping there and we had an experience
El
there.
Paso ish.
Yeah. Okay. So no. El Paso is on the far left.
Far
Okay.
left.
We were in the far right corner.
Oh,
So
right.
yeah,
East
we're in
Coast.
the opposite side of the whole state, like right next to Louisiana. And we went camping there, and we had a very strange experience. And we were sitting there, and it was like dead, nobody was camping, and we were just traveling through, and it was like it was me and two other people, and we were sitting around, and then out of nowhere we heard these insane sounds, and you could hear like literally almost like a stomping sound, and then a massive like tree knock. So tree knock was so loud it sounded like light, like thunder. It was like like, I mean, it was like so loud, so insanely loud, and I was like, what in the world is that? And we got up and we went to go walk off to go kind of see like what's going on. And at first we thought, well, maybe it's somebody like breaking into, maybe like the bathroom or something. Maybe it got locked. And so we're thinking like maybe someone's like hitting the door because the door was metal.
So
And we
wait,
walked along this path to go look, and we could see something walking by.
were
And you
you
could
on the
tell it wasn't human.
northern part of Texas or the southern?
Northern.
So I like 30.
We were at the top right corner of like where it's right next to Louisiana, and then the top right corner of Texas. It was very weird. And then we pulled through Louisiana. I'm trying to remember the name of the town. Let me think.
It's Texarkana, but or New Boston.
Oh my gosh, it's been so long. I can't remember the name of the town. But we went through like the upper part of Louisiana.
Red Lick, Leary.
All I remember is when we drove through, we were talking about the Duck Dynasty family lived there. And I can't remember the name of the town they lived in. But anyway, we were talking about that. And I remember we were laughing about like, hey, we ought to pull over and go hang out with the Duck Dynasty people. And we kind of joked about it. And then so we were like, hey, maybe we should go camping.
West Monroe.
And yes, Monroe. And then so we went into Texas and we decided to go up, and we camped at like the top right corner, and it was like really woodsy and
Well, all that area is really woodsy.
yeah,
I mean,
super woodsy. Yeah, I mean like more than I thought it would be.
And oh no! Once you get out of Fort Worth and go east, it's all woods. Because
all woods.
Yeah, I mean, the East Coast or not the East Coast, the east side of Oklahoma. So my dad lives in. Well, I won't say where he lives, but
yeah, don't
well,
say.
yeah, it doesn't matter. Bartlesville. Go ahead, find him. Anyway, but he lives in Oklahoma. But it's. I mean, it's kind of flat, but.
Yeah.
My grandma lives there, but once you get past Dallas, everything east of Dallas is just woods. I mean,
yeah,
there's super
woodsy,
and especially Arkansas, and of course then you have the mountain ranges, and then you get the Mississippi and all that jazz. But well, not really mountain ranges, but then you get Shreveport and all that. But it's there's a lot of woods there. So I lived. Between Pensacola and Destin in a place called Fort Walton Beach.
Oh, I'm moving there. I'm moving to Destin.
Oh, are you moving, Destin? I love it.
Yeah,
You want me
I
to?
love it there.
So I'll give you hints on what not to do.
Okay. Good. Good.
and where to stay away from, because
Okay.
when you're on the so Destin, Florida, I lived in Fort Walton Beach,
Okay. Right
and
next to it.
so if for anybody that's wondering, you have there it's the Panhandle, and it's called
Like a little
the
island.
that's Pensacola Island, or not
Yeah.
Pensacola, Okaloosa Island. Sorry.
Yeah.
So Pensacola, and you have Panama City, right? That's the two biggest places everybody
Yeah.
knows, except for Destin, because everybody wants to go to Crab Island.
Crab Island.
Don't go. It's do it once.
Well,
You're not gonna do it twice.
Crab
trust me.
Island's fun, but I mean, it's not nothing I want to do every single day.
No.
But it's fun. It's fun.
Living there.
Yeah.
So during the wintertime, I'm a resident of Florida, and I live on the West Coast now, and I live in, I was born and raised in California, and then I spent a lot of time in Florida. I have family there, and they're still there. Actually, they're moving back to Klamath Falls now, next month. But I spent a lot of time in Fort Walton Beach, and Destin's cool to just hang out and go, and unless you're actually a fisherman or you go on one of the boats, then you're just there every day. But you're there at 3:00 in the morning. The tourist season there starts pretty early.
Yeah.
And then we have like some of the weird algae blooms, the blooms that happen, the red blooms and stuff. They're kind of gross, but they only last a little bit. When the actual tourists show up is during, because you got to understand, your winter gear is socks and a hoodie.
Yeah. That's like me in SoCal. That's my life.
Yeah. No, believe me, I lived in Reading, and
Yeah.
I mean, I had a motorcycle and I could ride it year round.
Yeah.
And I still have it. It's
Yeah.
in the garage. But
Yeah.
yeah, no. If you're gonna move over there, there's a lot of cool stuff to see, and you're gonna want to do it. And trust me.
Oh, I used to live down there. It's not my first rodeo living down in the South, but
The
I
food's way
want to
better.
move to Florida.
Yeah,
That's
no,
my
dude, the
yeah.
food's way better. And for anybody that's wondering, the Cubans, they're spot on. They're great people. I don't care what the media tells you about them. They're good people.
Yeah.
Everybody down there is authentic, and the food is authentic. The vibe is authentic. And I even believe they still have a TGI Fridays, and they sell this huge platter for like $30 of a
Oh my
crawfish
God.
boil, and it's amazing.
Jackie, I got a question for you.
Okay.
Totally off topic.
Okay.
How many pairs of socks do you have? Like as a family, how many pairs of socks do you have?
You're gonna lose.
I mean, I don't even know. Like realistically, like I probably own like at least 20.
Oh, you're way low.
You think?
Yeah, Dave, can I guess actually how many socks you might actually have in the family?
No, for me, I'm saying 20 for me. Now my kids,
If
that's
you're
a whole other story. My daughter, probably 100.
You just wait. I had to hear about this earlier today, and it is epic. And he was only halfway through them.
I did laundry today. Okay. I did laundry today. And socks have become a struggle to find a matching pair in my house. I'm like, I got lots of socks. Like, what's going on here? Right. So I found a hamper full of socks and another mini hamper full of socks.
And I got a call in the middle of it.
Right. and I started folding socks. Okay. And I figured, okay, I made a pile. I figured, you know what? I'm going to count how many pairs of socks. So I guessed, I figured it looks like about 54 pairs of socks here. Okay.
That's a lot. That's a lot of socks.
Well, don't forget 3 people in the house, right?
Yeah.
Right? And I still had a big pile on the ground of mismatched ones that I'm trying to put together. And in fact, they're still on my rec room floor.
Just as a prerequisite, when he called me, he wasn't done with them, and it was over triple digits.
Oh my God.
So I stopped counting because my ass got sore from sitting on the floor. I have a hardwood floor. Okay. And even though I had a pillow on the floor. Okay.
Oh, you're funny.
1 second here.
We have 0 socks in our laundry because nobody wears socks here until the winter. Even then, most of the time.
Flip-flops.
We're flip-flop people.
I stopped at 123 pairs.
123 pairs of socks in one load of laundry?
And that was like 3 hours ago when he called me.
Yeah. I stopped at
is this like, wait, was this like a load that was from like a year ago that's been collecting, or was this just this week?
Oh, it's a collection. It's a collection.
Good God.
Yeah. 120. I was like, and you know what's funny? Is this I have I have a few different pairs of Bigfoot socks. Okay.
Me too.
But I have 2 specific pairs that I only get to wear once, maybe twice a year, because the other one disappears.
Oh no.
Yep. The other one disappears, and I literally do not get to wear them.
No
because
bueno.
I can't find them.
No. That's not good. No bueno. Yeah.
Well, I believe in the sock monster, and it lives in the washer machine, not the dryer, but the washer machine. And when I was talking to Dave earlier today, and I was like, and he told me this, and he's like, dude, I'm folding socks. I'm like, good for you, bud. You know, I'm like, yeah, that's great. And he's like, MF, I'm at 123 pairs and I'm gonna stop counting. I'm like, yeah, that's good. 1, 2, 3. And he's like, no, I'm done. I'm like, okay, cool. And he's like, I still have more to go through. I'm like, holy mackerel, dude. And I said, you know what? I buy 12 pairs of socks as cheap as I can buy them. And I use them, and I don't like navy because I don't like the seam to be on the tip of my toe. I like to be on top of my toes. And I buy 12 pairs of socks for like $20 over at Fred Meyer's, and then I go through them, and they go in the wash, and sometimes I get some back, and for some reason I'm always buying another pack every month. So I went to my son's room, who's 10 feet away, and he has the biggest room in the house for some reason. And and I found all my socks. But this kid wears the same exact shoes because he loves them. And they have to be set outside. So all these socks are brand new but ruined because I'm not going to put them in my washing machine. There's no way. They smell like ammonia. I'm good, dude.
Ooh.
No. They're going in the trash.
Oh no.
Yeah, when you have a 16-year-old boy.
Oh, I have an 18-year-old boy, and believe me, he doesn't need socks to stink.
They're ridiculous. I remember taking a bath every single night. I take one every single night.
Yeah.
I'm 46 years old. Like, I don't care if I didn't do anything today. I'm taking a shower.
Yeah, yeah, same.
I went 1 and 2 today. Underwear, no. Like, it's no.
My son, well, my son, well, he has autism, but I can't get
So
him
he's
to brush
smarter
his
than
teeth.
all of us.
Oh my God, he's a genius, like off the charts. Like he'll say things, and I'm like, I'm gonna Google that. Like, is that real? But
It is.
he's so freaking smart. It's insane. But he has this weird thing. about brushing his teeth, and I don't understand it. But the weird thing is, he's super OCD about germs.
Mhm.
And I'm like, so you're weirded out with germs. He won't even flush a toilet with his hand. He uses his foot to flush the toilet. He won't touch it with his hands. God forbid.
Further away from his brain.
It's so weird. And I'm
But
like, dude, you got to brush your teeth.
now let me ask you a question. He has a problem with brushing his teeth. But I've learned something over time. In fact, I learned this from Steve-O. For anybody that wonders who Steve-O is, just look up Jackass.
Oh, yeah.
What's more important, brushing your teeth or flossing?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Good luck with that. I can't even get that kid to put a toothbrush in his mouth. He's not going to floss.
That's the
I'm
most
like,
important thing.
I know. And I'm like, dude, you're going to end up with gum disease. You're going to lose your teeth. He's like, nah, it's not going to happen.
I got a vibrator upstairs. I mean, a toothbrush upstairs that vibrates, and and it's this like $89 toothbrush, and
Oh my God.
you can do white, clean, and gum. Right, that's the three little lights on there. So I hit gum, and it goes, and all you got to do is just it's
move it around.
Oh yeah, and it's so nice, and you just sit there and
I have the same one.
yeah, that thing rocks.
He
And it's
goes,
like,
As a matter of fact, when I'm brushing mine, people in the other room can hear it. They're like, you're brushing your teeth, aren't you?
You're like, no, I'm not.
No, I'm not, bitches. Sorry.
Wrongo.
Yeah, I got all the weird stuff happening. Quickly here, Dry Toast, the best name on YouTube. How you doing? Hunting Tales, welcome. Buster, how you doing? Yeah, you got to be careful with the teeth brushing thing though, because you don't want to, get your enamel wearing off by brushing too much. That's what I almost.
Brushing once a month would be nice. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah.
Once a
you
month. When it gets really good and gross. I'm like, come on, dude. Really?
There have been nights where, and this happened like 3 weeks ago. I don't go to the bar very often, and there's a reason. Dave knows it. And then, so I got a buddy that went through a pretty bad breakup and blah blah blah. So he's like, "Hey, I'm down here at the bar." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "You need to come down here." I'm like, "No." He's like, "No, you need to come down here." I'm like, "Dude, you don't want to see me at a bar on a Saturday night. You don't want to come down here and be my friend." Okay, cool. So I wake up the next morning and I had to go some places, and I go there, and me and my wife's friends, we're all hanging out, and then their daughter comes up, and I'm like, "Oh, hey." And they look at me because I've never met her before, obviously. And I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?" She's like, "How are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm doing great," because I saw her at the bar the night before. And she's like, "Do you know how much money you spent at the bar last night?" I'm like, "My wife's here."
No.
$40. And she's like, "Yeah, try 640." I'm like, "God damn it, shut up." Like,
no.
Stop. Yeah, because I buy everybody drinks. Well, when I go to the bar, it doesn't matter, dude. If I'm at a bar, nobody's buying drinks but me. And I'll just buy the whole bar drinks. And then I just tell my buddy Tudo, I'm like, "Yeah, just tip yourself whatever you want." He's like, $100. I'm like, "Yeah, double it." All right, go for it. And it's fine. But I don't brush my teeth when I come home like that. And so the next morning I wake up with what I call cat shit mouth.
Ew.
And I wake up and I'm so disgusted with the way my mouth feels. I'm like, I'm going to throw up right now.
Just the thought of it's gross.
Oh, it's so nasty. And I've learned. So like you can ask Dave. I went to Reno and I rode my motorcycle to Reno. You were there. And
I remember.
Yeah, and I'm like, "Hey, here's my card."
I found before we go any further, Grant, before you grew your facial hair, I found a great video of you on Facebook.
Oh no.
Is it of him dancing in Reno?
No.
There he is.
Oh, that's me.
There he is. Look at Grant. This is what Grant does during the daytime. Right there.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah.
Totally you.
Yep, that was 100% me. And you stopped the video before you saw the problem with that video. So I ended up running out of air. And then I had to, in front of like 40 kids off a school bus, and they were all like these little, elementary kids. I ran out of air and I was 20 feet underwater. And so I stripped everything off. And unfortunately, like we have the Speedo when we wear,
Yeah.
right? Well, all of it came off and I got fired instantly.
Oh no.
I was fired instantly.
I'm sorry. Wait, let me get the address of that that
Grant, Jack,
show.
you guys stick around. We're gonna wrap this up because some of us have to work in the morning.
Nah, so do I.
Yeah. So thank you to T-Bone. Thank you to Little Cam. Thank you to David and Dutch Hank for the super chats. Tomorrow night on the show, Grant Cameron, the legend, is here to talk about the UFO story. We will have a lot of fun with Grant. We'll see you all tomorrow night, everybody. Take care.
You're sexy.
Stay healthy, my friend.
You too.
You need bail money, give me a call.
Always, Dad. Take care.
You too.